SoFi.
Oh my God. Uh, half hour. No, this is it's ridiculous.
SoFi is in the middle of a neighborhood, essentially, right?
It's across a parking lot from the old Great Western Forum where the Lakers used to play.
Right, but all that is surrounded by like
Oh yeah, no, Inglewood, and it's not a great community, but there's no easy way in or out. No. The Clippers are building their arena, I think, like 3 blocks away from SoFi. So, Felipe, how was the Taylor Swift movie?
ha ha ha. I'm sure it was better than whatever the Canes decided to trot out against UNC.
You know, Mark, I thought I had a chance to cover the Carolina Miami game when it was 14-0 Carolina. I said, "Oh, there's a chance."
Yep, there was.
There was a chance.
There was.
Then they got the late touchdown. I'm like, there's a chance. I think I'm 2-4. What are you?
3-2.
And I got Dallas tonight. Well, nice winning week. Way to go.
Had to come from behind. Had to get both my Sunday games.
That's okay. They count, you know.
I know. Lee lost his 40-unit play.
I know.
Badly.
Yes. They didn't even win outright. They're going to go 11-1 and play in the Big Ten title game.
Iowa?
It's going to be horrendous. Yep. Here's my question. If they go 11-1, which they'll be favored to do, and go to the Big Ten title game, but they don't average 25 points a game, if we fire the OC. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you. It's not good football to watch most times, but 11-1's 11-1. You're Iowa. I know. A little earlier than we thought they'd be pouring it. Both the Eagles and Niners threw games away yesterday.
Which means the Detroit Lions have the best record in the National Football League.
That's my 1 seed in the NFC, ladies and gentlemen.
Glad the 72 Dolphins could pop the champagne early.
Well, the Canes can pop the champagne early, too, because their season's over. Hello! Although they still got the Knowles on the schedule. That'll make a season.
That's what they're left to being.
It's a shame, too. If they'd beaten Georgia Tech, they'd still, they'd be very much in it.
Drake May is nice.
Yeah.
Ten seconds.
Going to be a nice consolation prize if you don't get Caleb Williams.
listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. I come at you from the West Coast once again. I'm in Old Hollywood, Wilshire Boulevard. It's Cowboys Chargers Monday Night Football. Mark in the cozy confines of Southwest Florida. And we ask the question, how the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton, and this is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Hope you had a great weekend. How was your weekend, my friend?
It didn't feel like much of a weekend. It was a lot of, just a lot of football, a lot of watching games, a lot of running around. So it didn't feel like there was a moment to breathe. There was just football from 9 a.m. yesterday right on through until 11:30 last night. It was a lot of football. That was my weekend. It was just a lot of football.
Can I ask just a little question on the side here? Your Honor, can we have a sidebar? What are your weekends this time of year mostly like?
Well, you add in a lot. See, the daughter threw at me. The wife was working Saturday, and the daughter has been clamoring for a sleepover with her best friend.
Well, go. It's football season. Go.
No. A sleepover at our house.
Oh, no. It's football season. We do nothing but on the road in the fall. The fall is for the road. And the other 9 months out of the year, we can hold serve at home all you want.
And the problem is not the problem. Her best friend is a twin. And in that household, one doesn't do something unless the other does. So me, without the wife there and the daughter begging for the sleepover, what do?
You say
I let them both sleep over.
Sure. Well,
so I've got the twins and my daughter. So I've got a house full of 9-year-old girls.
Okay, but I know why you did it. First off, because it's your daughter, and well, you and I, we're both softies when it comes to our daughter. So obviously the answer is going to be yes. But I know this is what entered that noggin of yours. You said, listen, if it's just the one, I have to do more of the entertaining. Okay, and I want to watch football. My daughter doesn't like football, so then her friend's not going to like football. But if I have the twins over, it's the three of them, they can entertain themselves. All I have to do is make sure that, I every 20 minutes I hear noise and I'm good. So I know why you did it. You thought, well, hell, they don't need any entertaining. At about 9 o'clock, I'll yell, time to go to bed, ladies, and chuckle, knowing full well they're not going for another hour and a half, and that's fine.
You pretty much picked up my game plan.
Right.
But it involves, I'm responsible for 3. I've got to feed them. I got to make sure they're.
Yes. And see, this is where it's much harder on you than it was me. See, because you prepare food. See, it's real easy for me we had many kids over the house because I just go out and get the food.
I don't do that.
Right, exactly. See, so that's why for you, that's all right. What do you want? They got to prepare it, got to sit down, and then you got to put the dishes away. No, it just would take your wrapper, put it in the bag, and we're going to throw it all out. Okay, good. Yeah, here you go. Right. So it's harder for you than it is for me. It's nicer, at your place, and you got a nice place too. It's nice, but. It's easier for me.
No, you're right. You're right. Running to the border is a hell of a lot easier than making the border, if you know what I'm saying.
Totally. And I can get them crispy, soft. However they want it. Same with, the chicken at KFC also. You want it the crispy, you want it regular. What are we thinking here? I'll go crazy. I'll go to like a Jersey Mike's or a Subway. I'll go top end here if you guys want.
So yeah, I had a little extra. I had extracurriculars this weekend in and around a lot of football. But all
right.
Well, no more undefeateds in the NFL.
No, the 2 undefeateds blew games. Absolutely blew games to backup quarterbacks too. I know the guy in New York is the, quote, starter, but he's their backup. Heck, and the Eagles, man, what is their head coach thinking? What is he going to the Dan Lanning School of Coaching? I mean, what the heck? Man, oh man. We're going to throw the ball when they have no timeouts because what? We're afraid Zach Wilson's going to drive the ball down the field and beat us? Seriously? Come on now. I mean, this is where I'm sorry, as a quarterback, you got to call timeout. You got to walk to the sidelines and go, Coach, why are we throwing the ball? Zach Wilson's their quarterback. What are we doing? I was impressed with the Dolphins, though, yesterday. And I'm serious when I say that. I know they're playing arguably the worst team in the league, but they fell behind 14-0. They clearly weren't ready to play. They're the fighter that showed up. Easy fight, told they were going to win it easy, the whole deal. All of a sudden, 2 rounds in, they're going to the corner, and managers,
and they're bleeding.
Right. Trainer's looking at him going, he hits just as hard as the rest of them, doesn't he? Yeah. You ready to fight now? You good? Yeah, okay. All right. I guess we'll stop putting on a show.
And once they did that, the Dolphins took over and said, oh, yeah, this is how our offense runs.
They are fun. They are fun. I mean, unless you don't like the Dolphins, it's tough not to root for this team to have some success this year because, well, they're just a fun watch. I wouldn't mind seeing a team like this play a couple of games in January. Hell, maybe they could play 3. But let's just get them to play 2. They haven't done that in nearly a quarter century. So, but did you watch the Oregon-Washington game?
Yes.
Okay. Because obviously I was working.
Right.
Our game was on at exactly the same time. I have 2 questions because, of course, I have to follow the game on a phone. During commercial breaks, I have to go to the play-by-play of the game, and I have to look to see what's going on. At halftime, I have to try to catch up because, Mark, it really did seem to me as if at the end of the first half, Oregon was down 4.
Yes, they were, David. You got that right.
And there was 4th and goal from the 3.
Correct.
And there was
again.
like 3 seconds left in the half.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't kick the 21-yard field goal. He goes for it and he gets nothing.
Gets nothing. And David, doubles down in the interview.
Well, so he did at halftime. They interview him, and he's like, "Absolutely,
we're aggressive. We're aggressive. This is who we are. This is our identity. Yada 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 yada."
What's wrong with it? Honestly, we need to have an intervention with these coaches. What is wrong with kicking a field goal from time to time? What is wrong with kicking the extra point? Okay, the Atlanta Falcons yesterday, they're down 14 points. They score early 4th quarter. They go for 2. What the hell are you doing? Kick the extra point. You want to go for 2 in the win? Well, score again. Go for 2 in the win. Okay, don't give me this, well, it's 2 chances at 1. Kick the extra point. Fire the analytics department. I'm sorry. I love Bud Elliott. I would go to war with Bud Elliott over this. War. Okay, so I got the first half of the Oregon-Washington game right. So then I could have sworn, much like how the Jets-Eagles game ended in a way. So Oregon's holding on to a 4-point lead, and they start the drive on their own 2, and they drive it past midfield. And then it's 4th and 3 again.
Yes.
About 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Washington's used all their timeouts. So, yes, it's true. If they convert the 4th and 3 on the opponent's 47-yard line, the game is, for all intents and purposes, over. But if they don't convert the 4th and 3, then Washington, who has scored a bunch of points, and it gets the ball basically at midfield with 2.5 minutes to go, and a touchdown gives them the lead. So, of course, Dan Lanning goes for it again, and they don't convert the 4th and 3 again, and Washington, 2 plays later, takes the lead. And then Oregon misses a last-second field goal. Oh, so now it's okay to attempt the field goal? And they lose. Do I have that right?
You've got that right.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. $5 million a year. No. Seriously, at some point, this is where I think even a university president can get involved and go, listen, I know 0.4% of what entails your job, but why the hell didn't you kick the field goal there? I'll hang up and listen. Mark, a coach's job, their number one job is to make decisions that give their team the best chance to win. That is number one. Everything else is underneath that. Screw your identity, screw your approach. Make the decisions to give your team the best chance to win. The Eagles leading the Jets by 2, under 2 minutes to go. The Jets have no more timeouts. The Jets have Zach Wilson at quarterback. The Jets have scored 1 offensive touchdown in their last 2 games. It was a 72-yard run by the tailback. Now, yes, a field goal would win them the game, but if the Eagles run the ball into the line on 3rd and 10, they would punt the ball back to the Jets, and the Jets would have the ball, let's just play it safe, on the 15-yard line with about 1:05 to go and no timeouts. Does anybody think Zach Wilson's driving them the requisite 50 yards into field goal range to win that game? Anybody? Raise your hand if you think he's going to do that. This is a coach who just took his team to the Super Bowl, by the way. I mean, this is a moron. All right? And so he throws a pass on 3rd and 10. Turnover. Racing down the sidelines, 1st and goal for the Jets. What the hell? Can we go back to rule? Here you go. Read me rule number 1 again. What's your job entail?
Give your team the best chance to win.
Am I out of line here?
No, you're not. And David, with going back to Oregon, Washington, they did point out in the broadcast that Bo Nix pooch punts. It's in his repertoire. I'm like, all right, you want to put everybody in the line of scrimmage? You want to pooch punt with your quarterback and eat some time up? I've got no issue. With that.
Right. And by lining up, maybe you draw somebody off sides. Look, I'm all for it. Right. Well, you got to punt the damn ball.
Had to punt the ball there. And watching it, I said it out loud. Couldn't believe it was going on. And third, I would, in the Eagles game, if they're 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and they want to run some play with the run pass option, but 3rd and 10 is not that likely to get it anyhow.
No. So listen, when coaches make decisions like that, they deserve to lose. I feel badly for their players, but the Oregon Ducks and the Philadelphia Eagles deserve to lose, and they did.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. I had to laugh at how badly Arizona beat Washington State.
Oh, my God. Especially since Washington State took the ball first and went right down the field and scored. And I said, yeah, they're just going to be out of gas today. Telling you, that should be your next coach. Yeah, Shimko, I'm with you. I did say it. Okay. You got to remember, it's what my daughter was used to. Okay. It's not upper end, but it was in her world. We set the bar really low this way that adulthood would maybe be appealing to her. No, KW. No one ever thought that. No one ever thought the guy who's 71 years old, who's trying to become the all-time winningest coach, is tanking a season. Oh, go Raiders. I'll make you a bet. I don't think he's the coach of the Patriots next year.
Ooh. David's only been saying that for 6 months. Well, not 6, but at least 4.
No, 6. No, go back to April. No. Could somebody explain to me the Buffalo Bills, by the way? Wow. Man. When they play the Dolphins, they look like the best team in the world. And they should have lost to the Giants. All right, Raiders, name the bet. The only way he's coaching the Patriots next year is if he's willing to accept that somebody else is calling the shots with personnel. He doesn't own the franchise, you know. And somebody else really does own the team. Probably the most powerful owner in the league, actually.
I laughed because at the start of the second half of the Giants-Bills game, they were talking about how the sideline reporter, Melissa, I forget what her last name is. Melissa Stark was like trying to talk to Dabes. And Melissa or Brian Dable told Melissa, hey, listen, you know, I respect you, but my head is fuming right now. I do not want to speak to you. I was so pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah. As well he should have been.
Yeah.
I fell asleep second quarter and woke up with 2 minutes left in the game.
It's probably good for your mental health that happened.
Well, especially since I had the Bills in my suicide pool.
Yes. So how many people got eliminated in the suicide pool this week? I mean, so nobody took the Niners and Eagles?
Couple people. I mean, not many.
Too many other big players.
Miami was the big one. That if they didn't have Miami, people had Miami.
Yeah, this in KW, the regular season, very different than preseason. The only thing that's the same, Mark, what's the same?
The uniforms.
And the injuries. That's it. Otherwise, bears no resemblance to each other.
Yep.
10 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour on this Monday morning. Hope you had a great weekend, and we thank you for starting your week with us. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We will have a poll question, and we will have it up this hour. We have not discussed what that question will be, and we have no idea right now. But the shape-up continues, damn it, and we are full steam ahead. This is our early morning stretching and exercise. It's just of our brain. We will get that poll question up in no time.
I think I pulled it.
Excuse
My
me?
brain.
I don't know how you do that, but you okay?
I'll make it.
All right. So I have a pulled muscle. What do you got? Hamstring? No.
Brain.
Cranium. Got it. You thinking this is a minor thing, you day to day, or are we gonna have to put you on the IR?
I think it's day to day. We should be fine. I'll play through it, David.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Is it fair to come to this conclusion concerning the Tampa Bay Bucks? That they're okay, and that might be good enough in the NFC South. But when they've hosted the Eagles and the Lions, they got nothing.
Nothing.
They can't even buy a ticket to that area code of the NFC. It's just not happening.
Much like Dallas against the Niners was shown their place in the NFC.
Right.
I think the same thing really can be said for the Bucs, and it's a lower level than Dallas. But I think, Dallas had all their hopes up a week ago going into San Francisco. They were going to show everybody they're on an equal footing with the Niners, and we're bad, and we're going to take care of business. And, well, they got slaughtered.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd call Detroit's beating of Tampa yesterday a slaughter, but it was very easy to see who the better team was. It wasn't close.
Tampa Bay held to 251 yards offense. Goff threw for 100 more than that himself. And Bucks 2 of 12 on third down after being arguably the best team on third down in the league so far this year. Now, Baker did have a couple of drops. I mean, Mike Evans on a key third down in the second quarter. I mean, he hit him literally in between the 1 and the 3. And that's my Hall of Fame wide receiver, Mike Evans. Mike, what are you doing to me? But, Mark, let's get to the important part of the day. The creamsicles. Should that be our poll question? Okay, upon further review, because it's been a few years. I mean, we haven't seen the creamsicles on full display since before, TB12.
And even quite a bit before. I didn't realize it was quite a bit before that. They hadn't worn them in quite a while.
Right. I got to admit, I really liked them. I couldn't take my eyes off the game. Maybe it's because I literally was having a flashback. I thought I was watching like late 1970s, early 1980s. I'm like, where's the sombrero? All right, just give me a crowd shot.
Point during the game, literally said these are iconic jerseys. That's the most laughable damn comment. These are up there with the great. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Speaking, they are.
No, actually, they're awful.
Oh,
No.
They look so pretty.
No, they're awful, but it's now gotten to the point of, are they so awful that they're good? But they're not iconic. I mean, there's nothing about the creamsicle that is iconic.
Correct.
Except that the letter I is in both names.
The logo is awesome as well.
I have to admit, though, I kept watching the game. And I was in a room when we had all the TVs and all the games on. And so I could watch any game. And I just kept getting glued to the creamsicle. Like, look at.
Well, I mean, let's be fair here. Your choices were Jets, Eagles, and Rams, Cardinals.
Yeah, pretty much. And Patriots, Raiders. And let me tell you,
I forgot all about that game.
And when you talk scintillating football, Mark, Whew. See, I had to work through Oregon, Washington. I feel badly because apparently there was good, entertaining football that was actually played this weekend. I didn't get a chance really to see it. Man, every game that I either worked or saw, it seemed like somebody had double-digit penalties. Some coach was a moron. Some team couldn't get out of their own way. I don't know about you, man. I thought the football this weekend was lousy.
Oregon, Washington was really good.
There you go.
That was
Okay.
a fun, entertaining football game.
Man, there's just a lot of bad football. I mean,
But I did something I don't do anymore, David. I've not done it this year. I watched my alma mater. So to talk about bad, awful football.
oh no.
With a
Oh no.
18-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
With
they
the
managed.
ball.
They managed to lose without question. It wasn't close. It wasn't even the biggest collapse of a team on Saturday.
Oh, it was pretty big though. 24-6 with the ball facing that juggernaut. Put it this way, Felipe. If the Bucks creamsicle uniforms are iconic, then Rutgers at home is a juggernaut. All right. That's it. I'm sorry. If we're going one, then I'm going the other. Then at least Mark Spartans were facing a juggernaut.
No, they weren't. They were facing Rutgers, and they managed to lose that in the fourth quarter. But Boise State gave up 21 points in the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds of the game to lose on a Hail Mary pass
to Colorado State.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did have some crazy college endings. You know, you had what was it, the Thursday night game?
Yes, with Houston and West Virginia.
The 2 touchdowns in the final 10 seconds. You know, throw a 50-yarder for a touchdown. Well, I can come back and match that. So, well, the Cane season's over. It's not over. I mean, they've got Florida State on the schedule, and in theory, you know, if they win that game, even if they lose to Clemson, they put a 9-3 on the board. It'd be like, well, you know, coming off 5-7, and we beat our arch rivals. ... But that's why the whole Georgia Tech thing's also a bummer. Their season wouldn't be over today if you know, they had taken a knee. You know, they could still, in theory, it'd be hard. I mean, with Clemson and Florida State on the schedule, but in theory, I mean, you know, they win their games, they're playing for the conference title. But, oh well, back to the drawing board. Hey, let's give it up to the Gators, huh?
That's right.
Let's give it up to the Gators. Went on the road, faced that juggernaut in Columbia, South Carolina, the Gamecocks. But in all seriousness, all right, Billy Napier, he found some onions on Saturday, and so did the Gators, who I think were 1-7 in Billy Napier's tenure on the road against Power 5 teams, and they were down 10 points in the fourth quarter at South Carolina. And they mustered up a drive. They got a stop. Then 4th and 10 on his own 25 with 2.5 minutes to go, and he goes for it. And Graham Mertz, who I got to eat some crow on Graham Mertz, because Graham Mertz has been Alabama would kill for Graham Mertz. Texas A&M would, I mean, the amount of Jimbo could take $1 million out of his wallet for Graham Mertz. Big play to midfield. They drive down. They win the game. All right. Okay.
Got a bounce. They got a hell of a bounce.
They did.
Helps when you get a deflected pass, go right to your own player, but doesn't matter how it gets done. It's a W, a bunch of 4th down conversions for the Gators, and they are, well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and now they have 1 SEC loss, and they got 2 weeks to prepare for, you know.
That team up north?
I think the problem for Florida is every single team on their schedule, except unless they play the I-4 schools, is that team up north.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new
Soda and a
EV
smile.
today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Should the Bucks wear the creamsicles every year? Is that the poll question?
What's the word you use to describe the Bucks creamsicle uniforms? And C could be iconic.
Should the Bucks have changed at halftime? There was a lot of missed kicks this weekend.
And there are hardly any missed kicks anymore, particularly on Sundays. Sonny, would you rather have the State Fair or would you rather have the chicken ranch that was there 10 years ago? It was hysterical, the chicken coops right across the street.
Now they're redoing that whole area, right?
Oh, yeah, it's condos.
Housing and
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I had a bad week picking games. So did you, because the 3 games we differed on, I got 2 of the 3 right.
Well, it's about time that the NFL had a week like this.
Yeah.
Is today a national day of any kind?
Let's see here. It's National Sports Days, National Liquor Day.
Oh. Here, how about that? It's National Liquor Day. What's your liquor of choice?
We can do that.
And you could, if you want, add the choice to say, I don't partake.
No, I don't want that one.
Okay.
Bunch of teetotalers.
Well, some people may not partake because they used to really partake. KW, that's a dadgum good point. Yes, he is. That's kind of why he went to that tour. See, ultimately, at the end of the day, he plays golf for, wait for it, money.
$15 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. David Sampson, Pat Kerwin, and Daniel Wallach to explain to us exactly where we are with the whole Florida gaming compact. And I don't want to say it's confusing, but this is a story Miller and Moulton have been all over for 3.5 years. And about a week ago, we called each other up and we go, do you know what's going on anymore? And the other went, no, actually, I'm kind of lost. I go, yeah, me too. What do you say we get Wallach on the show? Give him about 15 minutes and say, can you try to explain what's going on to all of us here? So that's tomorrow on the show. Chris Landry coming up a little bit later on. Do we have a poll question?
Well, we're almost there. We have the question. We don't have the answers yet.
You sound like the contractor to my condo. We're almost there.
It is amazing how that last 10% is the most difficult part to finish, David. It always is.
It's funny. I was told we're 98% there. And I got to admit, some people's version of 98% differs. Just saying.
Well, in order to get that last check, they need the final 2% done. So that's the important part in your eyes, David.
Right. And let me tell you, and if that's only 2%, okay. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
the Dolphins said, listen, Carolina, you guys are not good. Tell you what, we'll spot you 14 points. What do you say? Okay. Yeah, they scored like the next 35 after that. Tua with 3 touchdowns, Mostert with 3 TDs, 2 of them rushing. And Mike White came off the bench, even threw a pick 6 just to try to make the score closer. 42-21 Dolphins. They're 5-1,
That's the best record in the league, if memory serves me right.
It's tied for the best record in the league. And this just in. The Dolphins haven't been 5-1 very often this century. And by very often, I don't know if they've been 5-1 this century. Maybe at the very, 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 very beginning of it.
2002.
There you go. Wanstead had a couple of good teams there. But Jay Fiedler was at quarterback, so the ceiling was a lot lower than this one. Jacksonville's won 3 in a row. The last two have been pretty impressive, right? They beat Buffalo, and then, Mark, did you include this in your picks?
Yes.
Yes, because you're smart. See, you know a trend when you see one. The Jags had beaten the Colts 8 straight times in Jacksonville. And that's when the Jags were bad and the Colts were good for most of that stretch. But see, the trend is Jacksonville beats the Colts in Jacksonville. So they played maybe their best game of the year and won 37-20 yesterday. They're 4-2. They lead the division. Trevor Lawrence, 2 TD passes, and ATN with 2 TD runs. The Bucks, well, another reality check. But hey, how about them creamsicle unis, huh? Nice.
I was stunned at just how many of the 50% of the crowd that were Bucks fans were actually wearing the creamsicle colors. Because the Lion fan came out and supported yesterday. There was a lot of Honolulu blue in the stands in Tampa. We've all made our way down I-75 South over the years.
Exactly. And now you got a team worth, traveling for and spending money on. So the Lions held the Bucks to 251 total yards, 2 of 12 on third down. Are we going to have to start apologizing to Jared Goff? Or are we just going to have to start speaking of him in a way in which we've never really spoken of him, including his third year in the league when he took the Rams to the Super Bowl? Just wondering. He had 353 yards passing and 2 TDs yesterday. That's all.
Just another day at the office.
It's a pretty good defense, too. 20-6, Detroit over Tampa Bay. Lions are 5-1. Bucks still in first, though. I mean, they do play in the NFC South. We got to keep that in mind. So much for the unbeatens. Niners blew an all-day lead against the Browns, and then Jake Moody lined up a 41-yard field goal to win it and missed it. They drafted you in the third round for a reason. Somewhere, Robbie Gold's sitting on his couch laughing his you-know-what off. And the Eagles blew an all-day lead against the Jets. Had a brain-dead coaching decision with under 2 minutes to go, which led to a turnover. And the Jets pounded in and beat them 20-14. Big win for the Jets. Gets them to 3-3. Schedule gets softer from here for the Jets. All right, Jets now, even with Zach Wilson, Jets now in play for a wild card. With that defense, this team's in play for the playoffs now. They needed that break, and they got it. Eagles fall to 5-1. Jalen Hurts, 3 interceptions. Hasn't had many days like that. And that was with the Jets' backup corners. Baltimore beat Tennessee over in London. It was London, right? Last game in.
It was London, yes.
Okay. From now on, we go to Germany, right?
Right.
Baltimore 24-16 over the Titans. Justin Tucker 6 field goals. Tannehill got hurt. The Texans are 3-3. They were outgained by over 130 yards by the Saints, but they beat them 20-13. CJ Stroud 2 more touchdowns. He did throw his first interception though, and the Saints fall to 3-3. That's good news for the Bucks. And the Falcons fell to 3-3 because Washington came into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and handed Desmond Ridder his first home loss, 24-16. Sam Howell with 3 touchdowns, Desmond Ridder with 3 interceptions. Bengals, Mark, it wasn't pretty, but they got to 3-3. 17-13 over the Seahawks. The defense with 2 interceptions, and they stopped Seattle inside the 10 with 2 minutes to go. You want to talk about some bad football? How about that Vikings-Bears game?
That was awful football.
Wow. Jordan Hicks, 42-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Justin Fields got hurt. He didn't look particularly good before he got hurt. So much for that little 2-game uprising. And the Bears fell to 1-5. The Vikings are 2-4, 19-13. Think about that. You're a Bears fan. The Vikings without Jefferson, the Packers without Rodgers or Favre, and you've lost to both at home this year.
But on a positive note, right now you have the first and second pick of the 2024 draft.
Right now, I nominate all Chicago Bears fans on today, National Liquor Day. I nominate you Bears fans to partake. The Raiders beat the Patriots, and there was a beautiful backdoor safety cover in the final 2 minutes of this game. 19-17 Raiders. Raiders are given 2.5, 3, 3.5, wherever you bet the game. Safety, 21-17 Raiders. That's a cover. Patriots fall to 1-5. Raiders are lousy, and they're 3-3. Garoppolo hurt. What? Jimmy Garoppolo hurt? Back injury, left before the end of the first half, not to return.
Wasn't that their highest offensive production of the season, too, with 21 points, David?
Correct. They were the only team in the league who had yet to get to 20. And remember, they needed the safety to get to 20 because they were at 19 before the safety. The Rams were very impressive in the second half. Found an identity, maybe, Mark. They gave the ball to Kieran Williams to start the third quarter, and he ran it right down Arizona's throat. And then Stafford said, listen, when I don't hand you the ball, it's because I'm throwing to this guy, Cooper Kupp. Some of you may not remember him because you're new to the team, but he's really good. Kupp caught 7 passes for 148 yards and a touchdown, and Kieran Williams ran for 158 yards and a touchdown. I don't know about you, Mark. That sounds like a team.
That does.
26-6 Rams over the Cardinals. And hopefully you didn't watch because, man, was it ugly. And I know a bunch of Bills fans, even though Buffalo beat the Giants 14-9, they're more upset than the Giants fans are who lost the game, who got stopped at the 1-yard line to end both halves. Giants should have won the game. They outplayed the Bills. I can't believe what I just said. What is going on with the Buffalo Bills? Seriously. They beat the Dolphins. They looked at the best team in the league 2 weeks ago. Tonight, Cowboys and Chargers. Just going to throw a little stat out there for you. The last 10 times Dak Prescott has played after losing the week before, the Cowboys are 9-1. Dallas a 2-point favorite. On the road favorites with a losing record straight up this week, however. The best play in the league throughout the first 5 weeks of the season. Not a solid play this week. College football rankings are out. The top 5 is the same in both polls. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington. Notre Dame 15th in the AP, 18th in the coaches. Air Force 22nd in both polls. That's 6-0. The Falcons of Air Force. Game 1 of the ALCS last night in Houston, Texas. The Rangers are 6-0 in the playoffs. 5 of them on the road. 2-0 over the Astros. Jordan Montgomery took a shutout into the 8th, out pitching Verlander. NASCAR, they were in Vegas, Mark. Kyle Larson with the win. He's in second place in the points.
And that's our first hiccup from California this morning. See what happens when you talk NASCAR this early?
You crash.
That was a crash right there.
Collision on turn 3.
I don't have David's notes in front of me. I do know that Brooks Koepka won on the Live Tour. And that's about the end of my sports reporting because I was, once David goes NASCAR at this point, I'm looking for good, bad, and ugly stories.
Yeah.
You went NASCAR and you crashed. You went right into turn 3, David. That's all I know.
I said Ross Chastain finished 5th. All of a sudden, I get knocked off the air. Golf was also in Vegas. Tom Kim repeated as the Shriner Children's Open champion. The big story of the tournament, though, was Lexi Thompson on Friday. Mark, she shot the 2 over 73 on Thursday. That's nice. I mean, she had it going on Friday. She made 5 birdies in a 10-hole stretch. She was 2 under for the tournament. She was making the cut. A woman had made a cut in a PGA Tour event since Babe Zaharias in the 40s. She had a couple of late bogeys, but she shot 73-69. Missed the cut, but still, that's impressive. WNBA, Vegas could have won the title last night, but New York beat them to force a game 4. LPGA Tour, they were in Shanghai. American Angel Yin with her first win in a playoff. Hockey, the Lightning have lost 2 in a row. Ottawa beat them 5-2 last night. Brady Tkachuk with a couple goals. And Anaheim doubled up Carolina 6-3. It's early. Strange stuff happens. And I can see why I got knocked off the air. I was talking NASCAR. I was talking golf. I was talking WNBA. I was talking NHL. I can see why I got knocked off the air. I'm sorry.
Yes,
about
it was
that.
hard for me to cover at that point because I even said it on the air. And I said, when David gets to this point, I'm looking for good, bad, and ugly stories.
So, well, how about that poll question? Okay, it's today's National Liquor Day.
Well, and that's what I'm looking for, a fourth choice. It's National Liquor Day. What's your liquor of choice? Vodka, gin, whiskey. There's got to be
Scotch?
Well, I'm kind of just throwing the whiskeys all under one because you could do
Gotcha.
Scotch, bourbon, and you could just do it just on the brown liquors if you wanted to.
Tequila.
Okay.
There you
So-
go.
Okay, there you go. So for C, though, are you going to have to like label it Scotch / bourbon / whiskey?
They should all know. If you're a whiskey drinker, you're a whiskey drinker. You know.
Okay, I just want to, or do you
Tequila.
put like whiskey and in parenthesis go brown liquors? I
Sorry.
just want to
Sorry,
make
guys.
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
playing the song in my head. Sorry, the line keeps coming.
I was going to say, you are saying it out loud, Felipe. I mean, we're letting you. I mean, that's all. Every 15 seconds, all of a sudden, tequila. Can't wait till we talk to Chris Landry. We're doing the interview, and all of a sudden, and the Cajun is talking. And Felipe's going, tequila.
Tequila.
Listen, don't throw the Cajun off his game, okay? It's never too early to start drinking where Chris Landry's from, okay? So, see? So we got the starting 5 in, all right? And we got a poll question in. Man, it's the shape up.
We are looking slim,
I
at
don't
least
know
in
about
terms of
that.
this show. Not in a mirror. Not even close in a mirror.
The
Unless
producer,
it's a mirror at a funhouse,
right.
in which case we got to get in front of the right mirror to make us look skinny.
The producer of college football for CBS, okay, he looked at me and he was trying to give me a compliment because I had on a different outfit on Saturday. And he said, "You look," and he couldn't say it. And I go, "Like I have potential?" And he goes, "Yeah, I guess so."
Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So Shimko, let's just say they lose to Florida State and Clemson, but they win the others. They'll be 3 games better than last year, and you see significant improvement in the talent level. You lose Van Dyke, though, after this year, don't you? No?
I mean, after this year, he could go to the draft.
He'd be dumb if he did it.
He would be dumb if he did it, but
it's a quarterback rich.
Yes.
Of course, the danger nowadays is not just losing them to the draft. I'm transferring. Oh, okay.
Please.
Yeah, Van Dyke could be at Alabama next year.
You know who needs them? Jimbo. Jimbo's had 4 years in a row where his starting quarterback's gotten hurt. Jimbo needs a quarterback.
You remember Brad Kaya?
Oh, yeah.
I remember Brad Kaya left the year before Mark Richt got to Miami. And everyone said that if he would have stayed, maybe things would have been different.
How boring was your game?
Well, the problem was it was always a one-score game. And so, you know, when you're working the game, it's like when you're calling a one-goal hockey game. And you're like, man, this hockey is not very good. But it's 2-1. So, you know, at any moment, you know, one play, one shift, you know, so. But, Mark, it's the second week in a row where we've had both teams commit double-digit penalties. A&M has just lost back-to-back games when their 2 opponents have committed 14 and 12 penalties. That's tough to do.
But I think you're right. There was largely a lot of bad football played.
And like there was a 5-play sequence in the Bills-Giants game last night where there were 4 penalties. I'm like, what the heck? This is in August. Guys, it's not that complicated. Vote, don't vote. Pick one. Have some fun with it. Paul, I think they can. The roster's got talent. They also lost arguably their 3 best players all during the game with injuries Saturday. It was unreal.
listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it is hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Monday. We hope you had a great weekend. We thank you for starting your week off with us along the network, Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Today is National Liquor Day. And we know for some of you, you don't drink. And we know for others, you do drink, but you don't drink the hard stuff. So the poll question may not apply to you. We get it. You could have some fun with it, though. You could say, if I were to drink on National Liquor Day, what would I drink? Just saying. Vodka, gin, whiskey, or tequila. Whiskey is like all the brown stuff. Whiskey, scotch,
Because they're all whiskeys.
Right. So there you go. So vodka, gin, whiskey, tequila. Those are your 4 choices. Felipe, what's that final choice?
Tequila.
You will just hear that periodically throughout the show, hopefully not at an inopportune time.
Who knows whether or not he'll be drinking it throughout the show as well, which could make things a lot more interesting.
Tequila.
All right. Take it easy there, big fella. So are we changing our opinion on the Dolphins because the Niners and the Eagles lost? Or did they just beat up on maybe the 2 worst teams on their schedule, the Giants and Carolina, and just, let's X-nay on the Dolphins, Because they go to Philly now, baby. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins, Eagles.
Yes, they do. And
playing for the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's what they're doing. This is a biggie. Big non-conference matchup, Mark.
the winner could very well be ranked number 1 in the polls when they come out following the game, David. You are right.
That's right. And those polls carry a lot of weight in the National Football League.
Yes, they do.
Right. But that's another thing. Felipe, were you upset that the Eagles lost because you went, oh, man, you're not going to lose 2 in a row? I already got a text from a Vikings fan. It's like, oh, man, the Niners lost. They're going to take it out on us next Monday night.
Yes, they are.
How could I be upset when the 72 Dolphins got to pop the champagne this early?
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Come on. We usually have to wait till like week 9 for that.
Well, but I would have
Yeah,
thought,
but you could have been the ones making them pop it. That's the other
There you
side of it.
go.
See,
See,
the Dolphins could have been the one. The Dolphins could have been there for the 72 Dolphins.
could you imagine Tyreek on the field, the post-game interview, okay, in which somebody hands him a glass of champagne and he says, okay, to Coach Shula and the boys, this one's for you. Would have been great.
He could have grabbed the champagne with one hand, a phone with the other, and done a backflip, and then the NFL could have taken the video down as soon as it was posted because they're no fun.
And then fine him twice. He gets fined every week at this point, honestly.
Grabbed a phone
I know.
and did a backflip.
Loved it. Loved it. John Perry, the official in the Monday Night Football broadcast crew, the bunch of us, we were sitting in a room watching the games yesterday. And I looked at John and he goes, and I go, I'm all for it. All for all of it. John, here's the deal. For the 39 seconds after they score the touchdown, they should be allowed to do whatever they want, just as long as they get that extra point off in 40 seconds. They could perform an entire Broadway number for all I care, as long as they get it done in 39 seconds.
I wish that he and those that hate that would have been at my house yesterday watching the Dolphins, because I'm watching either way. It doesn't matter if they celebrate, great. If they don't celebrate, great. I don't care. I find some of it a lot of fun. I find some of it silly, and I like the celebration. But if they took it away, it wouldn't mean I'm not going to watch football. But I'm watching football with my wife, who my wife just says, man, I love end zone celebrations. They're cool. That's all those who hate them need to hear, because that's the person you're trying to get to watch on Sunday. You've got all of us.
Now, for the record, John Perry actually is a fun guy, and he's fine. He was just speaking as the official, as in, hey, he's going to get fined for that. All right. And, but John actually, we had an interview with John, Mark, I think it was a couple of Mondays ago. Mark, you were off that day, in which he believes what Belichick believes. He believes you should be able to challenge everything. Okay, but he's, he knows what the current day rules are, and so he was just, he put his current day officiating hat on. But no, John Perry, okay, part-time resident, Southwest Florida, part-time resident, Ohio. Oh no, John Perry, I think, would be dancing with Tyreek Hill. Actually, I don't know if he'd admit that, but I know he has it in him.
But you know what I mean? Like those that get they get themselves in such a small box in the way in which they think that the end zone celebrate. I mean, hey, I think they're fun, and the Dolphins get to do it a lot.
Yes, they score a lot. Yeah. By the way, remember when Tyreek said, "I'm going to catch 2,000 yards worth of passes"?
Yes.
And most of us said, "It's cute. Glad he's got confidence. He is a hell of a weapon." Blah blah blah. Yeah, he's on pace for like 2,300 yards receiving. He's actually going to have to slow down his pace to meet his goals. Can I go off on a tangent?
Sure.
It's different from, it's kind of different from what we just talked about, but not really. All right. It was brought up in the last 5 minutes. So now I don't know how many of you saw the final play of the game last night, but it appeared the Giants were throwing a fade in the end zone, and the guy was clearly held. But, the officials had already called the pass interference to move him down to the 1. So what are the odds that we're going to call another one? And since it's in the final 2 minutes, the Giants couldn't, it would have to be done by the league, and that call is not, reversible anyway. But, Mark, there was a game that we did on Saturday. And I know not many people watched A&M in Tennessee. It wasn't a sexy matchup. It was an elimination game in the SEC. And A&M needs a touchdown to tie the game. And they're near midfield. And they run a draw play with about a minute and a half to go. And a guy's face mask is clearly grabbed, the ball carrier. And his head snaps around. And somehow they missed it. And so because he was tackled by the face mask, A&M, who had no timeouts left, the ball carrier doesn't get the first down. So it doesn't momentarily stop the clock. And now they're short, and it's third down. And meanwhile, the clock should have stopped. They should have moved it 15 yards further. A&M would have been on like the Tennessee 40. And now there's still a minute and a half to go in the game. And, hey, this is doable. But they just missed it. And it just got me wondering, is that really the next step we need to take in football? Because you just never know where the missed call is going to be that's going to greatly impact the game, or what the missed call is going to be. That before Bill Belichick is fired in New England, okay, that his final legacy as coach of the Patriots needs to be, "I told you we should have reviewed everything for the last 12 years. I'm all for reviewing every play. We can challenge any play at all. Tell me how many challenges I have. I'll decide what plays I challenge." Okay, I'm wondering, Mark, if that, because that's where I want to go. I want to do it like tennis. Okay, we limit the number of challenges you get. And if the officials have a bet, and the only way you keep your challenges is if you're right. So, like, if we give each coach 3 challenges, now he challenges a call, he gets it wrong, he's down to 2. He challenges a call, he gets it right, he's still got 3 challenges. And you can challenge any damn thing you want. And everything, therefore, is reviewable.
It is, in theory, David, I think it's really easy. I don't know acting out if it would delay games. I don't know. Reviewing everything. I think that player lined up in the neutral zone. They didn't call it. Are we reviewing that?
If that's Mark, you've got 3 challenges. If you want to spend one of your challenges, okay, I'll give you. Turns out, by the way, A&M throws a game-sealing interception. The right tackle jumped early for A&M. He did. The play should have been blown dead. Okay, the officials missed it. Turns out Tennessee's yelling, "Hey, he jumped." And then 2 seconds later, they intercept the pass. So, like, never mind. Okay, I mean, honestly, in my world, Jimbo gets to go, the right tackle moved early. That should have been a 5-yard penalty on a move it back 5 yards. It's still our ball.
In theory, it sounds great. They hate overturning officials. It would require the replay official to me, do something that they don't normally do, and that's act on their own. Act in the best interest of that game that they're watching, as opposed to protecting the officials they're working with. Tennis is really easy. We've got lines. It's either in or it's out.
Right. You're yelling at an IBM computer somewhere.
Correct. I mean, we are adding a lot of elements in, and I think you would at least have to agree, David, that the carrying out of this, you would need a replay official, and I think you would, I don't know how you do it on Saturdays. Sundays seems easier to me than Saturdays, because I could have the replay officials, I could have one central location, and I could do it that way.
You know what bothers me about when they miss a call on Saturday? In Saturday, they allow the replay official to just stop the game. See, they don't allow the NFL replay official to stop the game. All right, but literally the college replay official can literally just buzz down to the referee. The referee goes, "What's up?" And he goes, "I need more time to take a look at this play." Oh, okay.
Hell, they're even doing it now where the referee's coming on going, "We had a quick review. The runner was down 1 foot before the line, 4th down." And they've already marked the ball where it was going to be a first down. And they're buzzing down going, "No, you screwed that up."
So you're telling me you like my idea, but you're not going to go forward with it?
No. I'm willing to go forward. We have a lot more work to do as to how we're going to accomplish this, David. This isn't as easy as you think it is. This isn't lines on a tennis court. That's all I am saying.
So it's not as easy as we give you 3 challenges. All right. And if every time you challenge, you're right, you still have 3 challenges. Once you start missing them, the number goes down. When you get to 0, you're SOL. Huh? Who's with me? You can challenge anything, by the way. Who's with me? On 3. Ready? Break. No?
The practicality of this seems a lot more difficult to work out. I just...
Okay. You're probably right. I know you're right. I just don't want to admit you're right. Because I really like my idea. And not because it's mine. Because really, it's not mine. It was Belichick's 12 years ago. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. A little early for Miller Lights, David. A little early to be cracking those Miller Lights.
Well, it is National Liquor Day after all. Just trying to get fired up for the production meeting.
Tired.
Why do you have to add the timeout to the loss of a challenge? Why? Isn't losing the challenge enough? You only get 3. You know how many plays there are in a football game? 125 to 150. You only get 3 challenges. They're pretty valuable. I'd be willing to say once you get down to 0, you can challenge a call and risk a timeout. Because the other thing is, I don't want people to be scared to challenge a call.
What percent of the fans are Cowboys tonight?
Oh, my God. It's got to be close to the Niners when they play the Rams. I'll go 60-40 tonight, Cowboys.
I was going to say 70-30, but
it is a beautiful stadium. Because like a third of it, almost half of it's underground too. It's cool. I'll ask John Perry about whether it's any different, but concerning the international games as to the officiating crew. That's assigned. We'll probably have him on the show again. He wants to come back on. He's sitting in his hotel room. He's not doing anything.
other than sleeping.
Nah, he's old like us. He's up. Although it's true, I forget. It's 4:20 a.m. here. Never mind. No, Ambien. Nick's 70. He's not going to the NFL now. That ship sailed.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Chris Landry will join us at the top of the hour. I come at you from Old Hollywood, Santa Monica, the Fairmont Hotel, Wilshire Boulevard. All right, they have filmed many a movie scene with the garden in the background here. Okay, it's very nice, like 100 yards from the Pacific Ocean. Problem is the hotel's very old. And I got nothing in the room. I mean, I got as much, that condo that I'm redoing in the kitchen because nothing worked. Well, nothing works in this room either. But it's pretty. It's pretty. You got a pretty mouth. It's pretty, but nothing works. But location, right, Mark?
Absolutely, David. Absolutely. I don't know what would be working in the hotel room that you would need at this point. Seems that the mini fridge works because I've seen you crack open
Nope,
two
there's
waters
no mini fridge.
or whatever the hell you're drinking.
Nope, there's no refrigerator. And there's no ice on the floor. There's no microwave. There's no fridge. There's nothing. There's no mini bar. There's no complimentary water. No, the zip zilch nada.
How will you ever survive?
Hey, this is a crisis. 2:20 a.m. wake up call. I need certain things. All right. I need really bad carbs. Okay, for me. All right. I need water. You know me. I'm like a camel. I need lots of it. I got nothing.
Is there black coffee in the room?
I think there's a way for you to make your own.
Well, that's all you need. It's all you need in a room. That's for the rest of you that don't drink coffee. It's on you.
Okay, sure. It's always my fault. Okay.
No.
All right. That's fine. So anyway, I come at you from West Hollywood. Monday Night Football tonight. The Cowboys with a home game in Los Angeles against the Chargers, because 2/3 of the crowd will be for the Cowboys. So the Cowboys are at home tonight, and they're a 2-point favorite against the Chargers. So
very difficult to bet this because as the road favorites have been doing well, the Cowboys are technically on the road, but it'll be a home game. So I have no idea how you break this one down.
I'm totally with you. By the way, are these the two most, is enigmatic the right word? The two franchises of which there is either more expected of them than they always deliver. In the one team's case, they get so much hype, but quite frankly, the Chargers get a lot of hype too, because they got that quarterback, and just people look at their roster has seemingly been good for 10 years. And they do nothing with it. And they got the coach who, just obviously Dan Lanning is a protege of his, the Oregon coach, because they make the same ridiculous decisions together. My goodness. All right. I know we brought it up late last week. You're Robert Kraft. You going to pull the plug on this? Is this it?
This is getting ugly.
Mark, they're not good.
Well, and to our earlier points that we've been talking about for a while, where is the difference maker anywhere on that roster?
Yeah. I mean, the only guy on the roster that we really liked that I'm like, you got to worry about him on game day was Judon, the defensive lineman, and he got hurt.
But
the one running back, Stevenson, he's okay. I mean, he's better. He's in the top, I'd put third of running backs in the league. But, this isn't like the Lions last year is what I'm trying to get at. Remember, the Lions were 1-6 last year, and we're all looking at one another going, what the heck? I actually think they got some players. I actually think there's a good team there. How are they screwing this up? Oh, they're the Lions. I mean, once again, though, I know you're the owner, Mark. I'm making you Robert Kraft. You're the owner. In fact, I think you're the most powerful owner in the league because the commissioner likes you. See, the other really powerful owner, Jerry Jones, Jerry tried to get Goodell fired a couple times. They don't really like each other. They tolerate each other. So you're the most powerful owner in the league. He calls you about everything. So, Mr. Most Powerful Owner in the league, you prepared to do this? Remember, Wayne Izenga took over the Dolphins. 3 weeks later, Shula was out of a gig. Jera took over the Cowboys. 1 day later, Tom Landry was out of a gig. You got it in you?
I'm certainly getting it in me. I am certainly at the point where I want to ask my head coach if being the director of player personnel is just too much for him.
And when he says, no, I'm fine, leave me alone, I got a game to prepare for.
Yeah, Bill, prepare all you want because you're playing the Bills and you're probably going to lose. Then you're going to Miami where we know you're going to lose.
Wow, that's 1-7.
Say that again, Mark. Oh, just say it again. Say it again. Bill Belichick, you're going to Miami where you know you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Felipe, hold on. Hold on. Tequila. All right.
Tequila. I mean, they could be 1-7.
Yeah. In fact, it'll be a shock if they're not. Right. Uh-huh. Correct. I'm just saying. Because when you think rebuilding, you think Bill Belichick, right?
I used to pray for times like this.
And then what happens when your prayers are answered? Look at this. The Dolphins are good and the Patriots are in the you-know-what.
Miami Dolphins are tied for the best record in the National Football League.
With the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's just bat blank crazy right there.
Woo!
Once again, tequila.
Tequila.
On
It
National
is
Liquor Day.
There is no doubt. All right, Felipe, put the liquor bottle down and tell us what you got for a play of the day.
All right, we had a lot of really bad football this weekend, but we had a shootout Friday night in Boulder, and I will not let this go unnoticed. Stanford walks into Colorado. They're all confident. They got Travis Hunter back, yada, yada, yada. You know, he's a star, and he deserves all the credit that he has. He's amazing. But Alec Ayomaner absolutely mossing him for a touchdown to force a second overtime. Mark Jones and Louis Riddick on the call.
And that's where they come, battling. Oh my God. What a highlight! Ayomaner! Mind your manners, what a catch! He took it off of Travis Hunter's hat. Holy cow. Have a night, Alec Ayomaner. He takes it, he traps it to his back of his helmet and pulls it off of it.
Stanford wide receiver Alec Ayomaner, once again, 294 yards, 3 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes get the ball back. They end up throwing a pick. Stanford gets the ball. They kick a field goal, and they win. Stanford beats Colorado 46-43 in an absolute shootout. And, man, Colorado just does not play defense. They just
Colorado was up 29-0 at the half in that game and lost at home. Somebody who has Shedeur Sanders' social media account was sending out stuff at halftime about merchandise sales. Okay, I mean, that's how well things were going for Colorado at the half. Isn't that receiver from Canada?
Ayomaner?
I thought he was, I don't know. I thought I heard he, like came from a different country.
He's from Medicine Hat AB. What is AB?
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Right. And he, like all those catches and 300 yards was basically with Travis Hunter covering him. Yep.
From Medicine Hat.
From Medicine Hat. Football, not hockey.
Right. Not Flin Flon, Manitoba, but Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Right.
And that's our play of the day.
Felipe, they like to drink there. So, in honor of the Stanford wide receiver.
Tequila.
There you go.
Might have to send some up there.
And that's our play of the day. Chris Landry in 30 minutes to break down all things football. Thanks for listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Sonny, you're blaming Kelsey? You're not blaming the coach or the quarterback? Sonny, you're about 2 weeks late with that one.
Did you see Amon-Ra Brown's touchdown in the block that Reynolds made coming from the backfield?
I don't think
Detroit,
so.
there was only one Detroit touchdown, so
No.
because they lose Montgomery, so they've got Reynolds playing in the backfield. St. Brown caught the ball on the left side of the field, runs horizontally to the right side of the field. I mean, literally runs the length of the field. Here comes Reynolds, and I mean, when you say he just tattoos the only Bucs guy there for a tackle. One of the best blocks I've seen.
By the way, Sonny, there was a guy in the sports world 2 weeks ago named Chris Snow who died. But now I just realized you're Suzanne Summers, right? Was that her character's name,
Yes.
Chrissy Snow?
Mark, he launched them about 5 yards.
Yeah. Like literally, they could have almost called the blindside block penalty on him, even though because the guy just never saw him coming. He's all set to make a tackle, and here comes a freight train coming through.
And Suzanne Summers' birthday
today.
Did you hear the story? Her husband, they've been married forever. He's 10 years older than her. He gives her a love letter, like a birthday. I guess he writes one for her every birthday, and he gave it to her a day early. And she reads it,
It killed her.
Kisses him on the cheek and what have you, and lays down and never wakes up. But
what was the letter?
Raheem Mostert has 11 touchdowns.
I know, and he might not be their best running back.
4 points out of the money in DraftKings, and I had Raheem Mostert going too.
I had that catch in the 8th inning of the ALCS as a contender as well. They ended up turning 2-4. That was a hell of a catch.
He made a nice catch in the first. Also.
Yes. That one I saw. There's that court I hate again.
Awful. Terrible. Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, Chris Landry to talk all things football. Coming up at the top of the hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. I come at you from Old Hollywood. Chargers hosting the Cowboys, although it's a home game for Dallas because they'll have 2/3 of the crowd at SoFi Stadium behind them. Dallas a 2-point favorite. Road favorite's been the best play in the league so far this year, not this past week. Not only, Mark, were road favorites just 2-3 against the number, hell, they were only 2-3 straight up. Eagles, Niners, Saints all lost on the road as favorites. Never mind covering. They lost to the Browns, to the Jets.
To the Browns with a third-string quarterback.
The Jets to
with
a second-string quarterback. And C.J. Stroud and the boys in Houston are interesting.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
He threw his first interception.
He did. Bum.
We've played a few games already.
I believe it was the 6th in the league, right? Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that seems to be pretty good. If you're a quarterback and you go once every 6 games with interception, I can live with that.
I think that's pretty good for a veteran. Never mind a rookie.
Do you imagine if Dak Prescott could do that?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
He won't throw one tonight.
Well, he's 9-1 after a loss the last 2 years. I mean, this is, if you're into trends, you're backing up the truck on the Cowboys tonight. I'm just saying. Besides, this is one of the few coaches in which we think Mike McCarthy has the advantage. Has there been a coach to win the Super Bowl who's held in less regard than Mike McCarthy? He did win the Super Bowl. He took a 6-seeded Packers team who had 814 injuries that year, guided them into the playoffs, and won 3 straight road games, and then beat the Steelers in Dallas when the Steelers were favored to win the game. And, I mean, he's treated like, name the coach who you thought was just a moron. I mean, Mike McCarthy had all those winning years in Green Bay. They've won 12 games each of the last 2 years in Dallas. He is literally treated like he's an idiot.
Yeah, the games passed him by, according to everybody.
Winning a lot of games for a guy who's over the hill. Man.
I'm racking my brains thinking of other sports, David. I'm trying to figure out where you are onto something here.
I mean, seriously, Mike McCarthy is spoken of as if it's like, listen, Jerry Jones is a moron for hiring this guy, moron for keeping this guy. Really? I mean, Mike McCarthy's going to end up in the Packers Hall of Fame. I mean, he really is. You know, his time came and went, but yeah, I mean, he took him to like 3-4 NFC championship games. I mean, a Super Bowl, got a ring and everything. Went to Dallas. He's won 12 games in back-to-back years. Puts up with Jerry, for goodness sakes. That ain't easy. Not only does he have to put up with him, Jerry's picking his players. You win 12 games with Jerry picking your players. Seriously, we talk about him like, you know, he's a coach of a 5-7 college football program year in, year out.
Yeah, he's John L. Smith. I saw a video of his halftime blow-up years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And he went nuts on his players at halftime. That was the anniversary. That was over the weekend, so I saw that, and that's why his name was in my head. But you're really onto something, David, because he's done a lot of winning.
Yeah.
And he's treated as if he's the worst retread on the planet.
Right. And which, if we did a tail of the tape before every Cowboys game, coaching, we would check the other guy's box.
Except for tonight. Because there's no one that we think less of than Brandon Staley.
I hope first series of the game, they've got like 4th and 1.5 yards on their own 33.5. I really do. I'm begging for, I'm talking to the sports gods right now. I'm literally looking up at the ceiling, hoping I'm not waking someone up on the 5th floor. Please, can you give us a 4th and a long yard on the first series of the game on their side of the field? I'd pay you hundreds of dollars for it. I really would.
I will say the punter on the Chargers team's about, that's about as safe as a job as the backup quarterback if you don't have, for never a chance to get in the play and get any injuries.
I know. He's almost, playing for Staley's like playing for that high school coach in, where was it, Colorado or whatever, who didn't believe in punting. He punted like once in 12 years. So, anyway, that's what we got going on tonight. Cowboys and Chargers. It's actually, on paper, one of the better matchups of the weekend.
Maybe the matchup of the weekend.
Mark, there's actually a chance for some entertaining football tonight. No. Seriously, I mean it. Not just close games because they're all so awful. I mean entertaining football.
It's why the Dolphins are a must-watch. Because even when they're blowing teams out, they are entertaining.
I am taking credit for this. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I was in the room with a bunch of important people from the 4-Letter Network yesterday, including some programming people. And I have begun the movement because there's a doubleheader in December, a Monday Night Football doubleheader. And, the A game is the Packers at the Giants.
Oh, boy.
Well, but remember, they put this on paper in May. It's the Packers who are probably the second biggest draw, third biggest draw. They're right up there with the Steelers. The Cowboys are 1, and then Steelers, Packers, Steelers, for who's the second biggest television draw in the league. And then the Giants coming off a playoff season.
Right.
So, Joe and Troy are going to be in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium in December, a battle between the Packers and the Giants. Or now there's a cute little game going on in Miami where the Dolphins are hosting the Titans. And so, that's how the assignments were handed out. I've already booked travel going to and from New Jersey. And I'm fine with that. My mom lives there. I get to see her. I'm thrilled. And I get to see her on somebody else's dime. It's the best weekend going. But I started the lobbying effort on behalf of, hey, if any of you guys watch the Dolphins this year? We don't have the Dolphins. And they're one of the better teams in the league. And they might be the most entertaining team in the league. What do you say, since we will have already done a Green Bay game? In fact, we've already done one. And we will have already done a Giants game. What do you say we go to Miami? Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill returning to the scene of the crime. And, oh, yeah, the most exciting team in football. What do you say? Well, it's going to be really tough to, not go with the two helmets. And I go, yeah, combined, they're going to be like 5-7 and 3-9. It's going to be really difficult. And it's literally what I said to a very high-ranking four-letter network person. I go, it's going to be very hard to pass up 5-7 visiting 3-9.
You are a charmer.
Come on now.
Because you could have just said, now, the odds are these teams are going to be 3-9 and 5-7. There was plenty of ways to say that to get your point across. How'd you say it again?
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to pass up 5-7 visiting 3-9. And I did say it just like that too,
with all that sarcasm.
Oh, it wasn't sarcasm. It was borderline venom. Kind of like, listen, I know you're important and you make really big decisions, but please get your head out of your, you know what? Okay, it's 5-7 and 3-9. Okay. And he said, well, what do you think the Dolphins are going to be? And I said, no worse than 8-4. I mean, we could play the schedule game right now. They're 5-1. I'll give them losses to the Eagles and the Chiefs 2 of the next 3 weeks. You think they'll be worse than 8-4?
No.
When they host the Titans?
No, I don't.
And that was my point. I'm like, and we will have not had them. I go, and they're going to the playoffs. I go, I'm just saying. I go, now Tennessee's not helping. They're 2-4. I was hoping Tennessee was going to be like 6-6 and still kind of in it in the South, or clinging to, if they could win, they'd be back in the wild card race. I go, but no, the allure is the Dolphins.
And you're going to be showing the Dolphins a lot over the course of the next few years.
And I tried to wrap it up because I don't know if I'm ever going to get this audience again. And considering the tone I used, I probably won't. Okay. And I looked right at him and I go, by the way, this is coming from a lifelong Giants fan.
Look at you. That. At least you tried at the end.
At the end, I finished strong. I finished strong. Now, obviously, in Florida, you're going to see and first off, it's that doubleheader thing. The one game will be on one network, the one game will be on the other. I mean, it's not like anybody's going to miss it. But I got to admit, I mean, Mark, I could give you free tickets, transportation, everything. Forget the fact it's mid-December in New Jersey versus, mid-December in Miami. Forget that part. Seriously, free tickets. Packers at Giants, Titans at Dolphins.
I'm going to see Tua.
I mean, yeah, if there was a poll question right now, transportation, I'll even give you free suite tickets. Honestly, I'll hook you up however, hotel, suite, the whole deal.
Look at you. Okay? You're a player.
I said I.
Miller and Moulton, text line 21,000. Obviously, a couple mid-sentence snafus here with David on the road in California. This happens from time to time. Was trying to let him finish his point before I jumped out all over him.
No. Jump away. Once again, we got to the point of the show that was unrealistic. It was NASCAR in the first hour. Now it was us giving stuff away. Okay. So once again, once we get to the, what in the hell is he talking about? I get taken off the air. That's okay. All right. That's fine. This might be that ESPN executive get.
Exactly. 100% that's the case. Chris Landry coming up, top of the hour. He breaks down film as well as anybody. We'll get into all of these games. David wanting to give away tickets, not just tickets, sweet tickets to Monday Night Football games, hotel, transportation, whatever you want, to try to prove his point that people would rather see the Miami Dolphins play.
I wonder how many people on a weekly basis try to hit him up for some sort of access to football games.
Probably a lot less than what you would think. One, they have to have our number to hit us up for tickets. And, Felipe just asked a question. I wonder how many people hit you up for stuff over the course of the week. It's not that many.
Well, not anymore. Okay. I did learn something moving from Southwest Florida to Jacksonville in the last 13 months, that a lot of people liked me because I gave them tickets. And once they realized I can't get them tickets for things anymore, it's amazing how few people contact me now.
So there you have it. I don't even hit him up for tickets. And he'd get them for me.
I really would. I think that the sports broadcasting gods, I think, are messing with me.
There's no doubt. You brought up an ESPN executive, and bam, there you go again.
He took me right off the air.
Funny how that works.
Yeah. You're right, Mark. Once again, as you and I have learned painfully over the years, it's not what we say.
It's how we say it.
Right. I've always had bad tone, and I don't mean just musically.
No, that has been a problem, David. Tone is always something there that after the fact that you had the wrong tone, but there's nothing you can do about it at that point.
No, it's one of the first things Miller and Moulton bonded over on the air and off. We both looked at one another and go, we've both gotten ourselves in trouble speaking like this, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just said 8-4 at worst for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, if they could win in Germany against the Chiefs, they're playing for a 1 seed.
Oh, Mark, there's no doubt. The 1 seed's in play with the Dolphins. Absolutely. But I'm just saying at worst.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
I mean, say they lose to the Eagles and the Chiefs. I mean, they are the two teams who were in the Super Bowl last year. They're both 5-1 this year. Dolphins haven't won big games like that before. So let's just say they lose them. I still think they're no worse than 8-4 when they're hosting the Titans. Now, remember,
very well could be 9-3 if they lose that. That could be the only thing they lose over that stretch.
Now they finish
the Bills and the Cowboys late in the season.
Right. They finished Jets twice late in the year, and they finished Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. I mean, the final stretch ain't easy. But then again, playing them ain't easy right now either. Chris Landry next.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Martin. Yeah, his coaching strategy was dependent on them recovering an onside kick, in which the percentage is greater than 96% that you will. Yeah, he played it conservatively, but also the Seahawks hadn't done anything offensively that whole game. They also had to convert a 2-point conversion during that.
Morning, Chris.
I think his players let him down in that game, Martin. And Ron Zook was the special teams coach. Morning, Chris.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of some bad football. And
bad offenses, yeah, that's for sure.
And some coaching decisions that we're really having trouble with.
Yeah.
The post game or Monday morning, hey man, I'm sorry, this is on me. Yeah, in some cases, that's just not good enough. Sorry.
Yeah. That's some offenses really struggled yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Red zone in particular. Some surprises too. Just kind of neat to watch games and you think it's going to go one way and it's completely different last night. And the Eagles and the Niners, not surprised that they struggled, but as much as they did, it's kind of neat to see things go a little differently than you expect, at least for me. It's kind of fun to see who, what, when, where, and why.
How quick do you have access to like the all 22s and things like that, Chris?
Yeah, I can. The NFL's right away. College sometimes takes a little time, a little longer. It's a little more complex. But the NFL's easy. Pretty much anybody can get that now.
Right, with that NFL, wherever they allow you that access.
Yeah.
Isn't it remarkable how open the NFL is compared to college? Like college coaches think it's like, world secrets, at world peace is at stake. You can't get any lineup information, what have you. The NFL mandates. They send out daily who practiced and who didn't reports.
Yeah, it's just because there's no organization in college. There's no, everybody kind of does their own thing. So
right.
It's just the biggest problem that's in college football, in particular, college athletics, but college football is just there's no organization. I tell people all the time, if it wasn't been for the fact that years ago that the NFL kind of said, hey, we need to do all this together, I think a lot of guys today would kind of do their own thing.
Sure.
But college has always been kind of their own thing. And now it's no one is going to want to give up that control and power. And that's why we're kind of where we are right now, so.
10 seconds.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And we begin our third and final hour along the network on a Monday with Chris Landry. He of Landry Football, LandryFootball.com. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Landry Football. Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was good. A lot of football, a lot of some good, not so good, but a lot of football, as it always is this time of year.
Well, there's no doubt. And it was an interesting weekend. As we were talking during the break, there was a lot of red zone problems for teams in the National Football League. But one that there wasn't one with is Jacksonville. They really had their offense going yesterday. It's one of the Florida teams we focus on. And people thought there might be a little hangover after the 2 London games. They had their best offensive performance of the year.
Yeah, and they match up well against the Colts. I thought they had a really good balanced attack, and obviously we need to keep an eye on Trevor Lawrence's knee. But even though the Texans are playing well, Jacksonville is the most complete team in the AFC South, and I'm curious to see. The one thing about them is just maturity. I mean, they're really got a lot of pieces. When you start to look at them, they're a team that can contend in the upper echelon of the AFC in terms of the pieces, but experience, maturity. I think we all thought that because it ended decently last year that you pick up where you left off, and that's not the case. So I'm curious to see how this team develops through the course of the year and whether they can be one of those elite teams in the AFC.
Well, and I'm counting on it. My predictions are based on it, so I am counting on them picking up where they left off. I did. I have Detroit and Jacksonville as the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences, Chris. So I cannonballed into the deep end of teams picking up where they left off. Do you consider the Dolphins a legit threat to the Eagles and Chiefs to overtake them and become the best team, if you know what I mean? They've got showdowns with them in the next 20 days. They'll have to play them without Achane, but they get the Eagles on the road this Sunday, and then over in Europe, they get the Chiefs. Okay, when you look at the Dolphins, are they in the same class as the Niners, the Eagles, and the Chiefs?
Well, they're different, but yeah, they are. They're built differently. Like right now, the Eagles are not playing well. I mean, they didn't play well yesterday, and the Jets really got after them. But really, Jalen Hurts has not played well. So this is not. Even though the record was good, I think the Eagles they're not quite in rhythm, and I do think that the injury to Lane Johnson hurts a bunch. Yeah, the Dolphins can line up and beat anybody on any given day. They're really good. I think the only issue is going to be what happens for whatever reason if their offense has a bad day, bad weather. Can they win without having an explosive offense? So we'll see. We obviously saw them against Buffalo. I'm curious to see how they do in these games. For me, it's more about can they get home field advantage? Can they win the division, get home field advantage? And then do they have a game in which their offenses maybe they got to play a little left-handed and they've got to find a way to win defensively, and are they good enough to do that? That's the only thing for me about the Dolphins. I don't know that they're as complete as you'd like to be championship level, but offensively, I think they're the best team in the league.
Offensively, it seems that they've got such a great mix too, because they're able, even with Achane out of the lineup, Mozart ran for 3 touchdowns yesterday, and they seem to have the ability to hit you either way, and that makes that to me, they're hard to make play left-handed if they're going to be able to run the ball that efficiently, Chris.
Well, it is, but they're I think we've seen a couple of teams do a pretty good job of keeping them between the numbers, defending the run a little bit better, and not everybody's going to be able to do that as well as others. When you get into the better teams, and this is why I think these games are going to be intriguing, and then get playoff time, you're either playing the best teams or the teams that are playing the best, and that's where it can get exposed a little bit more. So, yeah, they've got all the pieces on offense. To be a championship level, I think you've got to be able to do everything in all 3 facets, because I think sometimes that can get you. And if you're just a little bit off your game offensively, then what do you have? Well, then I think they've got to prove that we can win with get some good defensive stops. And we're not talking about playing great defense. We're just talking about getting some key stops. Can they do that consistently?
I'm going to switch to college on you for a second. Everybody was talking up USC because of their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Well, what about North Carolina then? because they got a quarterback who's on the short list for the Heisman. They have a quarterback who's going to be on the short list for top 5, top 3 guys in the draft. They're undefeated. They don't play Florida State in the regular season. Now, they have a more challenging schedule the rest of the way than the Noles do. But is North Carolina with Drake May a legit contender?
They are. I think they're. I would not put them in that first tier, but that second tier of playoff contenders. And I still think against better competition, and you mentioned the tougher schedule defensively, and I think Gene Chiswick's done a great job of kind of flipping things around because they were awful on defense last year. I think they can be. I don't know that I trust them yet to beat Florida State in the ACC championship game because I think that's where we're headed. So, but yeah, I absolutely think I kind of put them in that next tier of teams that look, they're really good offensively because of May, and I think that obviously getting the receiver back, Tez Watkins is outstanding. So this gives them another weapon on top of some really good receivers that they have. Absolutely. No, I think that they're going to be a fun watch the rest of the year. I was curious to see how they would handle the moment this past week and how Miami would handle the moment, and all good on the Tar Heel front.
North Carolina's got 3 pretty much layups ahead of them before they finish with Duke, Clemson, and North Carolina State to end the season. So things looking up for the Tar Heels after their win against Miami on Saturday. The Gators got it done, Chris, and a lot of points. Ugly, I don't know about ugly, but different game. But Mertz looks like he can play a little bit.
He's probably better than most people think. Listen, I think there's, Florida's, and I'm sure you guys deal with it a lot. You look at it, and most people look at Florida and you say, so wait a minute, give me that record again. Is that a misprint? No, that's what their record is. They just have looked bad in a couple of key moments, and you just think that they've maybe, lost 4 games this year, and they haven't. I think it's a process. It's a slow process. It's an arduous process for their fan base, but I'm curious to see if they can continue to kind of take little baby steps, get to a bowl game, because I do think, at least at this stage, that the recruiting is coming along pretty well. It's a kind of build a foundation, but they've, obviously the key games, particularly getting blown out by Kentucky, was an embarrassment. But getting a win like that against South Carolina, you wouldn't think it, and historically, that's a huge win for them because that's a really bad loss if they lose that game. So I'm curious to see where they go from here. Graham Mertz is what you see is what you get. He's a pretty good decision maker. Can get the ball out on time. They've got some players there. They just putting it all together has been a problem on a consistent basis there.
Well, we've been talking about some teams. Can they take it to the next level? Can the Dolphins challenge the Eagles and the Chiefs? Can North Carolina play with the big boys? Well, can Penn State? All right, here they go. Now we're going to start having the big 3 play each other in the Big Ten. Penn State's got to go to Ohio State. If they can get it, they host Michigan in a month. Can the Nittany Lions get over this hump?
They're a better team this year than last year. And remind folks, they had a 10-2 record, but boy, were they hammered in their 2 games against Michigan and Ohio State last year. They're better. I think that they're better this year, and I think the defense is better. I think the running game is. So we shall see. And I don't think Ohio State's, while they're good and getting better, I think the margins slipped a little bit. But James Franklin, big games, big moments, getting his team ready and prepared to play in games like this. This is a big moment. So I don't have the answer for you. I think that they are better on paper. But I am curious to see how they play in this game, how they perform, as well as against Michigan later. And I don't believe in moral victories, but just being more competitive and having a chance to win it is going to be huge. But right now, if I'm looking at the playoff contenders and I'm looking at the Big Ten, obviously it's only 3 teams in the Big Ten, but I'd put Penn State in there. I'd put them behind Michigan and Ohio State right now until I see otherwise. But I think they've got a better chance than I thought last year going into those 2 games.
Do you think it's a James Franklin problem in these big games? I mean, just what you were alluding to there, Chris, is that, and I wonder, can a coach fix that? If he has a big game problem, how does it ever get fixed?
Well, I think that, James' strength is as a recruiter. I think his particularly defensively, Manny Diaz is hyper aggressive, so they'll make a lot of big plays, give up a lot of big plays. I think they've always been a little flawed in terms of game management, game situations. So to answer your question, is that going to ever be James's strength? No, but I think the team is better. I think sometimes when you are not quite as good, maybe you take some chances that end up biting you in the rear. I think that he's in better position to maybe have a chance this week.
I know he won the Big Ten title in 2016. I think this is his most talented team. And they may finish third in the East, but I think this is his most talented team. All right, quickly, your thoughts on tonight, Cowboys-Chargers.
I expect the Cowboys to rebound after getting embarrassed, play well. And I just have a hard time every time I watch the Chargers. I see the potential there. I never know what you're going to get with them. But it's been one of those crazy weeks. So I'm expecting something that I'm not anticipating. I think it's going one way. I'm thinking Cowboys are going to maybe handle it. Something tells me that the Chargers are going to play well, and this is going to be a fun game because I certainly didn't expect Sunday night's game to be any good.
Well, 15 seconds. When you look at the Chargers, do you see coaching holding them back? Because there are a lot of people in the league, Chris, that think that if Belichick were put on the Chargers next year, that they'd win 12 or more games.
I think it is one of the weakest coaching efforts that I've seen in years. I think in terms of the overplaying of the analytics. I think just sideline management, game management. I think it's one of the worst. I really do. And I as a coach, I hate saying that, but it just really is a big problem. And yet they are capable of just firing off on somebody and having great games. But no, I don't trust them on the sidelines. And I think we saw that in the playoffs last year as well.
He's Chris Landry. LandryFootball.com is where you find all his information. Thanks, Chris. Have a great day. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com. Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Did you see what Greg Swaim tweeted out Saturday?
No, I did not.
He's on a flight today, so couldn't get him today. And with our schedule, the way the next few days are lined up, I don't know if I can get him on before Thursday unless we do it in the 9 o'clock hour and then try to edit it and rerun it later in the week. So on Friday night, Saturday morning, Friday night, Notre Dame to the Big Ten soon. NBC Sports not able to pay the Irish what the Big Ten able to as the ACC breaks up with as many as a dozen schools with offers to the SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12. And the rest that are not offered will be in the same boat as Wazoo and Oregon State. So I
we're
reached
just going
out
to
and
have two
said,
divisions.
well, 3.
Yeah, but one
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
Well, I don't know, Mark. There may be so many damn schools. You know, how many of the 12 will they get? They'll be happy with 2. They'd be thrilled with 2.
Louisville and West Virginia.
Oh, they'll get more than that.
I know, but those 2 will go for sure. Well, I did see his text about the AC. He sent another one, too, that just basically saying it's a no-brainer for Florida State and Clemson to choose the Big Ten. More money, easier schedule.
So I'm watching Arkansas Saturday play Alabama again down to the end and lose. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what are these schools going to do going forward? I mean, forget the SEC even adding any more teams.
David, I'm with you.
I mean, you're Spartans.
When are they ever going to play for a Big Ten title in football again?
And you think that the only way they'll be able to do it is if they get a schedule year. Like Purdue last year didn't play anybody. But also they had divisions. See, that's the other thing. If these conferences are going to get this big, how in the world are you not going to have divisions? And I know, then are we going to have semifinals and championships round? Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're the one making the damn conference 20 teams, 24 teams. We're not doing it. What, you're going to have 20 teams lined up and just the top 2 are going to play in the Big Ten title game? That's it? How many years are we going to go where certain schools don't even play another school? I mean, Michigan's schedule next year? I mean, that's laughable. It's so hard. Yeah, Adam, I don't know how the Big Ten, for example, how are they going to do it without divisions? When you've got 1,500 miles separating 4 teams on the West and any of your teams in the Central. I don't get it. By the way, the ratings for these college football games are not what they've been. They're not. I mean, people are watching, but they're like USC Notre Dame did a 3-5.
I don't think it helped that Notre Dame had lost twice.
Maybe not.
15 seconds.
I don't think Oregon Washington did a 4. Just saying.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us on this Monday edition of Miller and Moulton along the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. You know, Mark, I know it's outside the time frame in which we normally talk about this, but it was something I wanted to get to on Friday, and we'll get to it today in a moment. But today is National Liquor Day. Hence the focus of our poll question, because we're not the most creative crew. We need help. And so they helped us.
What's your liquor of choice? Vodka, gin, whiskey, or tequila? And I probably should have substituted rum for gin. I now see that I made that mistake. So that's fine. But whiskey getting nearly half the votes, vodka in second, tequila in third, gin bringing up the rear.
Okay. All right. It's good to remember for next year, Mark. Since we're such a creative bunch. Hey, it's National Liquor Day. We did that last year. That's okay. Just make a couple of the choices different.
Run it back.
Yep. For those of us of a certain age, did you stop momentarily when you heard the news about Suzanne Summers, who would have turned 77 today?
Today, exactly. Died the day before her birthday.
Was given her husband of many years gives her a love letter every year on her birthday. And for whatever reason, decided yesterday he would give her the love letter a day early. She read the letter, was reportedly touched by it, kissed him on the cheek, took a nap, and never woke up. She battled cancer for 50 years, Suzanne Summers. Chrissy Snow on Three's Company. Never mind, Mark. Okay, never mind that exercise sensation.
The Thigh Master.
There you go. Look it up, Felipe. Look it up. Between Jane Fonda's workouts and the Thigh Master, there's a lot of bad fashion in the mid-'80s into the 90s right there. A lot of infomercials. A lot of workout outfits. A lot of stuff being sold. Using sex to sell exercise.
There's a concept.
It's how we rolled back in the day. Not that we would ever use sex to sell things now.
No. In fact, we'll quit putting pretty people on television.
Right. That's an idea. How about that? I wanted to mention this because they are cheaters. All right. And once a cheater, we have a tendency to always label them as cheaters. But you have to acknowledge, don't you, that, at what point do we think the Astros stopped cheating? They cheated in 17. They won the World Series. They were banging the drums and the whole whistles, the whole deal.
Right.
Then, I think they were cheating even through the 19 World Series, even though that was the year that supposedly the investigation was conducted and this, that, and the other thing. I think they were cheating through 2019. But by the end of that year, they couldn't cheat anymore, and that's why they lost all those home games to the Nats. So I think to me, it's kind of like when you look at Bonds and Clemens and their numbers, the clean years and the cheating years. That's how I look at the Astros, Mark.
So you think from 17 to 19, the Astros were cheaters?
Yes, I do.
And were basically found out before the playoffs began in 19, and
why they didn't win the World Series. Right. If they had continued, they would, because they lost all 4 home games in the World Series to the Nats. Where were they cheating? They were cheating at home. Okay. So, yes, I'm labeling them cheaters for those 3 years. So what's my excuse these last 4 years when they've gone to the League Championship Series the last 4 years also? This is their 7th straight year in the LCS. At what point do we go, yeah, they were cheaters, but, we've got to give them their due. They're not cheating.
I don't think people, put it this way, they won't. Bill Belichick is called Belicheat by a lot of people still to this day. No,
okay. That's why I asked. 2017 through now, 7 consecutive years, they have gone to the League Championship Series, and on 3 occasions, they've gone to the World Series. 17, 19, 21, 22, I think they've gone to back-to-back World Series, lost one, won one. I think they've gone to the World Series 4 times in the last 6 years. 7 consecutive years they're in the LCS. At what point do you say, well, they cheated till here, the rest they've earned?
I don't think people ever say it. Once a cheater, always a cheater. That's how we look at things. And there will always be an asterisk next to that team in a lot of people's eyes.
Do you think they're cheating this year?
No.
Okay. So do you think of them as cheaters?
I don't.
Right. Even though, in all fairness, we were in our second act then. We did say, okay, I think it was during the pandemic, and we were very unhappy about the pandemic for a lot of reasons, but this was the biggest reason. Miller and Moulton were prepared to go to the Trop and buy garbage cans and walk in and bang the drums all day.
All day long.
We were gonna get arrested.
They didn't get the abuse that they should have taken every game they played that year.
Right. They didn't get it until 2021 spring training. They even missed out on it in 2020 spring training. They had a whole year with no crowds. Felipe, you didn't know us then, but we were serious about it. We were going to just drive up to St. Pete, and we were going to stop by at a nearby Lowe's or Home Depot, whatever. We were coming in Ace Hardware, and we were coming in with hardware, mallets and garbage cans.
We'd have never been allowed in, but we were making the effort. Yeah, we would have been by the team bus outside early, and as the team bus came by, we'd have been banging on garbage cans.
Yep. We were willing to record that sound on our phones and then get as close as we could to the home plate and to play the sound on our phones.
And besides, it was a game of the Trop against the Houston Astros, so there wouldn't have been but 12,000 people there. Anything we said would have been heard by everyone.
Heck, we were going midweek. There was going to be 8,174. We were going to be in stereo.
Man, COVID really bailed out the Astros.
No doubt.
Because even in spring training, they got a lot of hate. And then, obviously, COVID ended spring training way too early. But for the short week and a half that we had spring training baseball, everywhere they went, it was just constant boos, raining.
And then they were upset in 2021 in spring training when they were getting grief. Oh, come on, guys. It was a few years ago. And fans are like, yeah, we haven't taken our pound of flesh from you guys yet. We ain't satisfied. Suck it up.
And I'm going a big leap, but that is why everybody is having no problem with the Patriots being 1-5 right now.
Well, they did
between the winning,
the
accusations of cheating. Trust me, the football world is in complete enjoyment with the Patriots being 1-5 right now.
So 7 consecutive LCSs. Now, granted, we didn't have the LCS till 1969. So all those years, the great Yankee runs and whatever, there were no LCSs. You won the pennant, you went to the World Series. But, Mark, you could argue this is either the longest streak or the second longest. They've done 7 in a row. The Braves technically were in 8 consecutive LCSs in the 90s. Problem was it got interrupted by the 94 strike. So they did the whole 91 through 93, and then they did 95 through 99. So they basically did the whole decade. The 9 years we had an LCS, they were in 8 of them. So, it's either the longest or second longest, however you want to count it.
But are they cheaters?
Right.
Do you still look at them as cheaters?
Right. At what point is the statute of limitations over? I'm just curious. It sounds like, no, once a cheater, always a cheater. You blankety blanks. Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
That was a good one, Felipe.
Has Feinbaum always had a beef with Gary?
No. Gary did his show 5 o'clock on Mondays or Tuesdays. I think it was Tuesdays for a decade. Took calls. No. It's also Gary's being unfairly portrayed here. His comments were printed out of context. For those that don't know, he did an interview with a Tennessee writer, I think it was, and it was just a bunch of questions. And then the one question was, what do you think of Neyland? And he goes, well, it's loud. He goes, but in the SEC, there's a lot of places, LSU, Swamp, College Station, and so he was just kind of matter of fact. And it ended up the way it was presented. It was, he doesn't think, it's all that special. It's not, overly loud, and it's not quite how it was asked and answered, but it was how it was portrayed. And so, and for some reason, and this is surprising to me, because I thought there had been a little bit of a détente from Paul's side anyway, because Gary hasn't changed at all. And, Gary's feelings are no different year 18 than they were year 1. But it was very strange to have Feinbaum go public on game day and mention Gary by name and attack him. That was like, whoa, what in the world's going on here? So, but no, at least 8 years, at least the first 8, but I think it was 10, Mark. I think it was the first.
I knew he was on a show. That's why I didn't know if something happened, or because that was just unusual to me.
Yeah. Gary was not on today. He'll be on next week. A little bit, he's trying to keep his niche at ESPN. and he wanted to be a regular on game day, and he got passed over for it. And so plus the other thing for people who know Gary also, this is where, see, Gary being a former player, players block out a lot of the noise. And so to players, noise is noise. But to us, it's not. And so I think to us, those words are more harming than players are kind of like, well, yeah, loud's loud. I mean, and Neyland is loud, but I can tell you, having done back-to-back A&M games, College Station the week before was louder than Neyland was on Saturday. Now, when they hosted Alabama last year, that was nuts. That was the Tennessee fans. Whew.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes until we're out of here, at least along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour for Southwest Florida. We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. So since this is our final segment along the network, can I pepper you with a series of questions?
Sure.
So what's your big takeaway from this past weekend? It could be college, could be NFL. When you went to bed last night, okay, besides the fact you passed out exhausted in the second quarter of Bills Giants there, what is it you were thinking?
Well, the first thing that I was thinking when I got up this morning and when I fell asleep last night, and I can't help it, being born and raised in Michigan, that we are in mid-October and the Detroit Lions have the best record in the National Football League. That one right there was stunning to me. I really am looking forward to this week because the Dolphins, outside of their game against the Bills, they're electric. But they've beaten up on bad football teams. So I'm really excited to watch this Dolphins train keep them moving, but I want to see what they can do with their defense.
Mark, they are averaging over 100 yards more of offense a game than the second best offensive team in the league. You see these type of numbers in high school football. You see maybe the one behemoth in a conference that is so much better than everybody else. And you look at the numbers and you go, wow, Boise State is averaging 100 yards more per game than Fresno State, 10 years ago in the Mountain West. That's how dominant the Broncos are. This is the National Football League, Mark. The Eagles are the second number 2 rated offense by yards at 395 yards a game. The Dolphins are at 498. A 103-yard disparity. I mean, that's like giving the other teams 5 quarters to try to match what you do in 4.
But the other thing that I thought yesterday is just how much the NFL has it over on all of us. Because there wasn't a lot of good football played yesterday.
No, there wasn't.
And we were in for all of it. We started off in the morning with a game that ended up at 8 points. So technically within a score of Baltimore and Tennessee. That was bad football. The Browns beat the Niners to take down an undefeated in what was an ugly 19-17 game with a missed field goal that enabled the Browns to win.
Now, it was compelling, though, because...
No. They've got it down. That's my point, David. They have sucked us all in. We watch 3 hours sometimes of bad football, but the game's always within a score.
because there was a point in that game, Mark, where it was mid-fourth quarter and Brock Purdy had 1 yard passing in the second half.
Gets to a text I wanted to get to, David. About an hour ago, we received this text. I have saved it because he simply says, I want to hear criticism on Brock Purdy. If Dak had that stat line, he'd be getting killed. Not a Cowboys fan, just want fairness in analysis.
Well, we saw yesterday, Mark, an old adage still holds true. You know, if your defensive front can get pressure on a quarterback, you can win a game. Because the Jets harassed Jalen Hurts, and he threw 3 picks, and they lost. And from about the mid-second quarter on, the Cleveland Browns got after Brock Purdy.
Yes, they did. He was bothered every other time he threw the football. Every other time. I mean, the pressures were like 47%. And he was 12 of 27. Sacked 3 times and threw a pick. Had a whopping 125 yards.
Now, with that being said, he did drive them down the field and in game-winning field goal position. And then their kicker, who they spent a third-round pick on, and it was clutch at Michigan. Apparently not clutch in the state of Ohio. And he missed a 41-yard field goal, and the Niners lost. Mark, do you know what I took away from yesterday? Glad you asked. I took away, and maybe I'm getting a lot softer than I'd like to acknowledge, for as crusty and as sarcastic as I can be, and God forbid you give me a hard time on an airplane, all right? But I was really happy for some fan bases yesterday who have been through a lot. The Lions, the Browns, and the Jets. I mean, come on. These fan bases have been through. I mean, if you're not a Lions, Browns, or Jets fan, we don't have to go through the litany of what these fan bases have gone through, do we? We all know by now. And look at them coming up with big wins. Mid-fourth quarter, chance of let's go Lions on the road. Never
Audible.
mind.
Through the, I mean, you could hear them at home. Chance of let's go Lions.
And then obviously the Jets and the Browns with backup quarterbacks. Hell, in Cleveland's case, what, a third string quarterback?
Yes.
Taking down the 2 unbeatens. You know, should they have won? No. But you know what? They did. Good for them. Good for them. Browns hanging in there in the tough AFC North. And the Jets, quite frankly, now, remember the first 6 games was the really hard part of their schedule. We said with Aaron Rodgers that 3-3 would be a good start. Think of the games they've won. I mean, they beat Buffalo week 1. For good, I mean, that was a joke they won that game. But they forced what? 3 interceptions from Josh Allen and a punt return. And next thing you know, they escaped with a win. They had 1 offensive touchdown against the lowly Broncos. It was a 72-yard run by the tailback. They're not getting anything from their passing game. And then look at this game. 4 field goals offensively. How'd they get their touchdown? Turnover, return to the 8-yard line, then hand the ball off. And yet they're 3-3. And with that defense, by the way, how about if they sneak in as a 7 seed? Well, I won't even get into the whole if Aaron Rodgers can miraculously come back in 4 months from Achilles because he was throwing the ball on the field before the game. Forget that. You really want to be a 2 seed and face that defense in the playoffs? You want to face the Browns defense in a playoff game as a 7 seed? And you're the 2 seed and you're thinking we're going to the Super Bowl? You got to face Myles Garrett and company? Holy blank. Seriously? What do we do to deserve this? You may win, but you're going to be in for an afternoon, let me tell you. And so, Mark, that was I was thrilled. I'm like, man, you know what? When the season starts, Mark, what's the mantra with the NFL? What did Pat Kerwin teach us 12 years ago?
Or hope.
And these are 3 fan bases that pretty much have only had what? Hope. And on the same day, they all got winning. In big spots, too, for different reasons. Could the Lions go on the road as a favorite and live up to expectations? Are we really as good as we think we are? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I mean, the team seems to be able to handle this much better in the fan base, right, Mark?
A lot better. I thought, I mean, I watched that whole game. Detroit was businesslike in how they approached the game yesterday. They lost Montgomery, their running back. They had to put a receiver in at running back. They just, they were without an offensive lineman. They were without a D-back. I mean, they actually had a few injuries in that game that they had some key contributors who were out, and they just had a business-like approach and went in and took care of business and beat a team that they were better than, handily.
And then the Jets and the Browns. And you have to acknowledge, this is where my bias shows through. I love a team that can just show up with a defense. And neither one of these teams are winning a championship. We all know that. But I do love a team that can just show up on any given day and go, we're going to beat the hell out of you today. We are. And you know what? We may win this game when it's over, too.
They are a team as a 7 who might lose that game to the 2, but whoever the 2 loses to the following week can send a thank you card to a team like the Browns or the Jets for
softening them up.
Exactly.
Yep. We know these teams, if they get to the playoffs, cannot string a bunch of games together. But they could win one. And it'd be ugly as hell, too.
Well, and for the Browns, it's a monster win because that's a division that's winnable.
And in the Jets' case, it keeps them relevant playoff-wise. They got through the hard part of their schedule, losing their franchise quarterback to injury, losing their best offensive lineman to injury, both likely for the year, and they got out of the first 6 games 3-3.
And just look, Aaron shows up and throws the ball on the sidelines and they win. That's how important Aaron Rodgers is to the Jets. He just needs to throw balls on the sideline to turn the franchise around.
If I'm the Dolphins, by the way, I need to figure out, is Taylor Swift going to make the trip overseas for the Chiefs-Dolphins game? She's got the movie, and, she by going across, it may help promote the movie, over in Europe as well. That would be my big concern if I'm the Dolphins right now. Not the fact that, I got offensive linemen out and Achan's not going to play for 3 more games. Is Taylor going to show up in Europe for the Chiefs game?
Felipe, how much longer does she promote this movie with the NFL before she dumps Travis, in your opinion?
I mean, I think it could last till the end of the year.
You think it could last till the end of the year? Okay.
I think from a marketing standpoint, which all of this is a marketing standpoint, all of this is a marketing scheme, period. It would be very smart for her to go to Germany and make this trip. She's worldwide, is she not? I mean, this tour goes international, right?
You do know that she was asked to do halftime of the Super Bowl and turned it down.
Oh, I know.
Well,
okay.
He asked her out once too, and she turned him down. Maybe the NFL just needs to ask again.
Well, that's true.
Maybe the first time their approach wasn't the right way.
You know what I think the NFL needs to do? They need to bring a mom to the negotiation. She seems to be a softie around moms.
Aren't we all?
Maybe that's what Raj needs to do. Invite her to a suite and, just have somebody's importance mom there. Hey, I'd like to introduce yourself to so-and-so's mom. Hi, Mom.
So there's that won't go away.
And I do like the fact that now we're beginning on Saturdays. We're slowly going to start creating a little bit of separation so that if you can keep the donut in the right-hand column, you're making the playoff, no questions asked. Louisville went on the road in the ACC and got beat. Obviously, the Pac-12 undefeateds were all going to play each other anyway. Well, 2 of the 3 lost. The Big Ten undefeateds start playing each other this coming weekend. Okay, here we go.
Ohio State and Penn State this Saturday, starting the gauntlet in the Big Ten East of Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State in their crossover games against one another. Can Penn State get a win at home against the Buckeyes?
That's in Columbus.
Oh, that's right. They've got Michigan at home. They've got to go to Columbus, and they get Michigan at home. My bad.
Boy, is Michigan's schedule. Oh, man, it's laughable. As tough as next year's is, it's how laughable this year's is. Honestly, Georgia, if somebody gives them a hard time about their schedule, which they should say, excuse me, you need to call Michigan first before you give us a hard time. Okay?
Yeah, Michigan did this on purpose. We had to take Oklahoma off of our schedule because they're joining the conference, and we couldn't finish the home and home in time.
Right.
They planned their schedule this way.
Exactly. Second year in a row, by the way. But so that's what I took from the weekend. I'm a softie this weekend. I fell for the fan bases this weekend.
And I just took from this weekend how the NFL has us. They keep these games close. Doesn't matter how it's played. They keep them close enough to keep us sucked in for as long as possible. And they do a great job of it. A great job of it.
Speaking of which, Monday Night Football tonight, Cowboys a 2-point favorite over the Chargers. It's in Los Angeles, so it's a home game for Dallas. 2/3 of the crowd at least will be rooting for the Cowboys tonight. Dak Prescott in the last 2 years coming off a loss, 9-1. Take that for whatever it's worth. Miller and Moulton. We'll see you tomorrow, except on 239.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095.
Oh my God.
That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
for listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Felipe, did you see the news?
Tell me.
Kim Ang is out as GM of the Marlins.
No!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's in the last 10 minutes. Craig Mish and a couple of others have said they've parted ways.
What?
Her contract was up. Remember, we've been saying for 3 months, what does it take to get her a contract extension?
Dude.
Listen, she better have another job lined up, and she walked away from them, because if they screwed this up, then that's it. My soft spot for the Marlins is over.
What the hell? She made moves that helped us make the playoffs.
Half the damn team she brought in the last 2 years.
Yes. Oh my God.
Golly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So dumb.
What are you yelling about?
Kim Ang and the Marlins have parted ways.
Yeah.
They didn't extend her. That is unreal.
That is unreal. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, that's a tough ownership group to work for. It really is.
Does she go back to the Yankees?
Yeah, I would. Oh my God, I would pay a large amount of money if they moved on from Cashman and put her in charge. That's what I'm waiting to see. If in the next 2-3 days we realize that she walked away because the Marlins screwed up, didn't extend her early enough, and by now she knows she's got a job lined up. Like, she got the Angels job. Does she have the Red Sox job? Quite frankly, even though technically the positions, does she have the Mets job? Now, I know she works under David Stearns there, but listen, Adam, I've been saying for months, if I were the Yankees, I'd get rid of Cashman and I'd hire her. He's had a great run. It's over. Adam, by the way, what scenario it would take for Alabama to make the playoff? Win out. If Alabama wins out, they'll be right there. The one thing I will say, Adam, though, what could get in Alabama's way, what if Texas wins out? How does Alabama go ahead of Texas? Yeah, but Adam, she worked for Steinbrenner too.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
The bonus hour, the Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on this Monday, which is predominantly football news, although there is a breaking baseball story, which is a bit surprising. I would even say, Mark, if surprising is on the left and shocking is on the right. Okay, one is 1 and 1 is 100. Surprising is 1, shocking is 100. Where would you put the developing story in the last 12 minutes that Kim Ang is out as general manager of the Marlins?
I would put it in shocking, but only by a little bit, because David, they've had all year with things going on to resign. If they would have announced this in July, then I would have been completely shocked. But the fact that we went through July, August, September, and now we find out in mid-October that they're not retaining her, it seemed that it was going this way.
Well, was it 3 months, 4 months? We kept asking the rhetorical question, what does it take for Kim Ng to get a contract extension? Apparently, it takes another franchise. My goodness. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Angels' job's open. The Red Sox job's open. Technically, the Mets' job is open, but you're working underneath David Stearns. But listen, this is not, affirmative action hire. Okay. She was given the reins of a franchise that doesn't win. She made some bold moves, traded major league pitching for major league hitting, signed a couple of modestly priced free agents, but for the Marlins, it was spending real money that they don't normally spend. And for just the third time in their history, made the playoffs in a 162 game season. And they can't sign her to a contract extension? Mark, please tell me it's because they screwed up in July, August, and September, and she's got a job in her back pocket.
I think that's the case.
I hope so.
Because if not, this is one that seems really odd on the surface.
Woo. Well, also, and I know there's 17 Marlins fans out there. I get it. But how in the world do you look them in the face with any credibility? Well, we just couldn't reach agreement. Excuse me. We've been waiting to go to the playoffs for how long? Do we need to rattle off how she's remade this team in the 2 years that you gave her control since you fired Jeter? I mean, half the team is new. Half the team's because of her. Just about all the moves worked, by the way. And you still have a minor league system loaded with pitching and a major league team that's loaded with pitching. Now, I don't like your chances with this group to make the playoffs next year because I don't think it's going to take a little more than 84 games to make the playoffs next year. And you guys had an amazing one-run record this year, which is very difficult to duplicate, but still. What the heck?
But now you have a team with some legitimate offensive power.
Yeah.
And depth for the first time in a while, because they didn't have that in June and July before the deadline. They now have some depth from a hitting standpoint. Like you pointed out, their pitching is still really strong.
Yeah, next year's probably a step back year, a half a step back year.
Maybe.
Well, because, they won't have Alcantara for the whole year. A couple of their bats are free agents, and my guess is they'll lose one.
Well, good. Let's just have Alcantara for the second half of the year, because the way he pitched in the first half of the year held them back, David.
Well, but he's out all year with Tommy John, but I know what you mean. But still, I mean, you're the Marlins, for goodness sakes. You're not where the Rays are. You haven't established yourself as a year in, year out.
Which, by the way, Josh Bell is one of those bats that's going to become a free agent now, who Kim Ng brought in at the trade deadline, who was one of the vital pieces to that playoff run for the Marlins, that playoff push. How does this affect him re-signing or not with the Marlins?
Well, and the other reason is if this is just Kim was unhappy with the Marlins, like I'm sure once we get down to this point, she probably said, so let's talk payroll. Am I going to be able to re-sign these guys? I got to re-sign a Rise and Bell. Plus, I have to make the team better. We can't count on 84 wins, making it every year. So let's talk payroll. And I'm guessing that the Marlins said, well, we can't increase the payroll much more than we have it now. Hell, we're losing money now. Well, this job just keeps getting better and better then. That's great.
I'm very curious to see what David Sampson has to say about this.
I'll be curious what Kim Ng has to say when some point she talks in front of a microphone. That's the one I'll be curious about, because David may be right. She may have looked at this. They may not want to increase payroll. And she may have said, might be time for me to leave then.
That in July and August, the contract extension was a no-brainer. She's like, oh, absolutely. But by the end, she took a look and she said, so this is the most resources I'm going to have, huh? Or just about every move I make has to work out in a year for us to sneak in with 84 wins? Is that what you're saying? I mean, you could say a lot of things about Artie Moreno, but he does spend money. You could say a lot of things about the Red Sox owners, and they are difficult to work with. Man, are they difficult to work with. But they do spend a couple $100 million a year.
Typical Marlins, I guess. As soon as something works, they just ship it away. Unbelievable.
So, all right. I know there's 17 of you that are interested in that topic, but.
And one of them's Felipe, as you could tell by the tone in his voice.
Right. And once again, going back to our theme of the day, which is National Liquor Day. Okay. Now, Felipe in need of some of that liquor. Felipe, what is your choice again amongst our 4 choices for National Liquor Day?
Tequila.
Coming in third right now with 14% of the vote, whiskey with 52% of the vote, vodka with 25%, and 9% for you gin drinkers out there.
This one's on Kim.
By the way, it would be cool, though, in a way, if somebody else hires her, right? That would, because when the Marlins hired her in baseball, she had, been 25 years in baseball and what have you. But there were a lot of people in the sports world that went, token hire. Okay, well, there's affirmative action at work, blah, blah, blah. Now, wouldn't it be, in terms of breaking a threat? I mean, if some other team goes, holy blank, Kim Ng's available? Well, we got to gobble her up. We've never been there in the big 4 sports in this country before.
No.
Wait a minute. A female executive's available? Well, damn it.
We
get
need her now.
Right.
Did you see what she did with the Marlins? Could you imagine if I give her $200 million in payroll, what she could do?
So, anyway. So that's the developing story in the last 12, 15 minutes. A bit unexpected. I mean, we were surprised that her contract was ending in 2 weeks, why they hadn't signed her to an extension, but oh well. Once again, also, Mark, it doesn't fit with the whole South Florida 2023 sports. This stuff's not supposed to happen in 2023 with the Florida sports franchises.
Well, no, they did what they're supposed to do. Get to the postseason, don't win a championship. That is exactly what this year has been. A lot of unexpected runs, a lot of great runs, but none of them winning the last game.
So Miller and Moulton on this Monday. That was our poll question, by the way, National Liquor Day, the 4 choices. Feel free to go to that, Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Florida Sports Network, or floridasportsnetwork.com and vote. You intrigued by the game that I'm out here for in California?
Well, come on, David. It's the Chargers, so you know.
That's right. My bad. I'm sorry. What was I thinking? I wasn't.
My affinity for this franchise and them breaking my heart every year when I pick them to do something more than what they are supposed to, which is to disappoint. Because that's what I mean, look, I think the stats that you brought up on the show both today and Friday about Dak, the fact that coming off of a loss, he's 9-1, the fact that the Cowboys were beat up, I mean, just mauled, what they will do against another good team, because the Chargers are a good roster.
Mm-hmm. I liked how you worded that. Well,
they are.
Right? No, they're an excellent or playoff roster.
Playoff roster that's undercoached.
And by what degree depends on who the person is who's offering the opinion.
And depends on how many 4th downs that team has on a given night. If you can keep the Chargers away from 4th and short, the Chargers have an exponentially better chance of winning the game.
And in Oregon's case, it's 4th and medium. Golly.
When you texted me at halftime of the game you were working to ask me about the Oregon head coach, I knew you were having an out-of-body experience at halftime.
Well, I'm going through the play-by-play on my phone, and I'm like, wait a minute. It says here, 4th and goal from the 3 with 3 seconds left in the half, down 4, that he passed up a 21-yard field goal.
That he thought it was the end of the game, not the end of the half.
And I'm like, come on, this can't be right. So, I went to Twix and I'm like, well, somebody has to offer an opinion on this. And immediately people are like, oh, Riverboat Gambler. I'm like, no, moron. No, Riverboat Gambler. And by the way, if he kicked that field goal, then they would have been up 7 with 2.5 minutes to go instead of 4 when he made his next boneheaded decision to go for it 4th and 3 again at midfield. Well, if we make it, we win the game. Yeah, if you lose it, you're probably going to lose the game. How about make him drive the length of the field for the go-ahead score, huh? And so the Eagles must have been watching that, and they said, that's some great strategy. We're going to do that at the end of our game with the Jets.
By the way, I like watching him play, but Penix I do not think will be good on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't think the way he throws works. I think the angle that the ball comes out, I just really good on Saturdays. I don't see him being really good on Sundays.
Well, I have the same feeling about Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a terrific college quarterback. I do not think Bo Nix is a starting quarterback in the NFL. I could be wrong.
And I could be dead wrong. You're usually the one on quarterbacks that offers. I don't, but I watch Penix play and I love the throw to win the game. But that goofy sidearm kind of angle makes me just wonder if that works on Sunday. And these guys all throw from a lot of different angles, but most of them come over the top.
And as some people are commenting in our Twitch chat room, yes, Mark had a winning week at 3-2. Lee had a rough week, got his game of the week wrong, and got his 40-unit play wrong. And he had been over 75% on 40 and 50-unit plays over the last dozen years. And I'm 2-4 riding the Cowboys tonight. So my first losing week in the last 5. So, yes, for the record, that's how we did Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us along the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Terrific win for the Gators, no matter how they got it. But the fact they got it with offense I think will benefit them greatly going forward. I think it will benefit their head coach for having the guts to call more aggressive plays too. What the are you doing? Getting rid of her. Ridiculous.
Am I a Lions believer? I don't know. That was an impressive win on the road to me.
So apparently there was an option for 2024, but it was a mutual option. And the Marlins at this last minute picked up the club option. And she said, no, I'm good.
Old friend of mine sent me a message, said the Lions game was probably 40% Lions fans at the Lions-Bucks game.
What percentage?
About 40.
I saw a lot of blue.
I did too. This was someone that was at the game, like literally, because I've not seen him in, I don't think I've seen Brian in 30 years, but he reached out and asked if I was coming because he lives in Tampa.
Good for them. I'm all for getting soft in my old age. I'm all for fan bases.
Well, it's because when you think of a fan base that travels, you've always thought Lions.
Well, but they've been beaten up. That one playoff win since the Eisenhower administration.
I know.
I'm just happy for them. They took the time. They spent the money. They went out in public. They got their shirts. And the very back of their mind, they had the little thing whispering going, we could get embarrassed again. This could all go wrong again. We're just starting to show faith again. You know what happens when we do that? We're even starting to make nice with former players in the organization again. We're setting ourselves up again. Didn't know the birdie had a deep voice either.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. It is the Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton, exclusively for the 239. Thrilled to be in our longtime home base. Mark in Southwest Florida. I'm in California. Still dark. Monday Night Football tonight. Cowboys and Chargers.
Did you take in a little Santa Monica yesterday?
we're 100 yards from the Pacific. So, yeah. They have us in an old Hollywood hotel, the Fairmont, which is off Wilshire, however it's pronounced. I pronounce it Wilshire Boulevard, which I think is one of the most famous streets in Santa Monica. And we're at a hotel that the back gardens are so nice that they've taped movies back there. And they got old Hollywood pictures all throughout the hotel. I mean, and I come walking in, in my outfit from a 5-hour plane ride.
You do tend to dress like a baseball writer on your flights.
I need to be comfortable. Yes, I dress for comfort. I also dress for where I'm going. I was going to where it was going to be 87 and sunny. So everybody on the plane has got, morning, because it was cool in Atlanta in the morning yesterday, and people were dressed for it. And I come walking in, no socks, shoes, shorts, shirt not tucked in, my belly, comfortable. I'm going to be in a chair for 5 hours. Well, why do I have to look good? Probably going to spill something on my belly.
I don't think you have to look good, though. I do think you have to have socks and shoes on when you fly.
Well, I have shoes, but I mean, you don't have to have socks. I had sneakers though. I didn't expose anything. I mean,
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, I got fat feet and some fat toes. Nobody needs to be seeing that.
Exactly. Right. And I used to be a flip-flop traveler, and I made the decision that I can't do that anymore. That I need to cover the Fred Flintstone big toe up.
Well, I think you can. I think you can during the summer, but it's mid-October. It's technically fall. I think, I needed to put, sneakers on, and I did. But so I went for a stroll, Mark, technically on the beach. I did about 20 minutes or so, heard the waves, compared it to the sounds of, how it sounds on the other ocean. Are these waves bigger, smaller? How does it sound? This sand, is it smoother, rougher? I played that game yesterday. I did. And then I just looked at all the people looking at me in this fancy hotel. Old California hotel. Money California hotel. Can I have a soda? Sure, that'll be $8. I would just, And then they just look, I mean, it was a very funny picture. There were like 5 of us in line, 4 couples and me. And, I've got my lime green FGCU golf shirt that's not tucked in, and probably my second oldest pair of shorts on. I mean, that older, all the kids that are running around in the lobby, my shorts are older than all of them. Right. And everybody dressed to the nines, pulling up in their Mercedes and their Beamers and having valet parking at $60 a night. Right. And there's me. Is my room ready? Moulton. MOUL. No? All right. Thanks. So, yeah. So Cowboys, Chargers tonight. I got to say, I know we normally make a bigger deal about this on Saturdays. Doesn't this have to be one of the better uniform games that the NFL can have? I mean, the Cowboys
Chargers.
I mean, we both have a sauce, especially, I don't know if they're going powder blues. Oh, if they go powder blues. Oh. But the Cowboys uniform, unless they're wearing those dark tops, I mean, the Cowboys uniform is pretty cool. I mean, it is, the star. It's kind of like if you hate Notre Dame, the gold helmets are kind of cool. If you don't like Ohio State or Michigan, the helmet's pretty cool. Gotta give them the helmet.
I've realized I don't like the Cowboys.
Really?
They're probably the NFL team that I like the least.
Okay.
And just childhood. I was, the Lions weren't good. My best friend was a Cowboys fan. I picked the Steelers, so I think that's where it started. Our rivalry from very young age with one another. but the star does look cool.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it.
So,
the powder blues are amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Powder blues or the creamsicle, Felipe?
Oh, easily the powder blues. They're the best uniform in the sport.
All right. Well, you were loving the creamsicle earlier this morning.
Well, not that much.
You're one that wants
Felipe.
creamsicle every year.
Felipe, you called the creamsicles, and we quote, iconic, unquote.
Well,
No.
They're old school.
Oh, they're old school.
Yes. Iconic, I would say no.
So one of the guys in the room that we were watching football with, the 4-letter network last night, was Troy. And so I said to him, I go, hey, they didn't change their uniforms till late 90s. You had to play against the creamsicles, didn't you? He goes, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Played against the creamsicles a few times. And he said, and this is interesting, how our fandom, remember, Troy grew up in Southern California, grew up a Rams fan. But when he went to high school, his father moved the family to Oklahoma. And the town he was in was next door to the town that the Selmans grew up in. So he then started to root for the Tampa Bay Bucks. All right, had a soft spot for the Bucks because Leroy Selman, became one of his, and then he went where? To Oklahoma to start his college career, where the Selmans went. So he was like, no, had a soft spot for the creamsicle. Okay, as a teenager, he goes, I might have had some creamsicle garb in the house. I was like, really? So then was educating the room on, you have no idea what a big deal in the Tampa St. Pete area it is this week that they're wearing the creamsicles. I mean, this is a thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what was really apparent to me is how big of a thing it was. Even though there were a lot of Lion fans at that game, all the Bucks fans that were there were wearing the creamsicle colors. They went out and bought the jerseys. They had the hats and the T-shirts. It looked like it was their normal. It looked as if that was their normal week in, week out jersey based on what was in the crowd. That's what really surprised me. But now that they lost and looked bad doing so, do they need to retire the creamsicle for good? They
No.
Sell too many jerseys.
I actually think it should be the yearly thing, kind of like in college. We have a homecoming game. Tennessee has the one checkerboard game that they do a year where the crowd and in the end zones, they checkerboard it. All right. They have the one checkerboard game. I think this needs to be a thing.
Okay. If it's a thing, it has to be a mandatory thing that they only can do it against NFC North opponents.
Ooh.
That's the game you pick. Because you could end up with the crossover the one year you don't play them where that's a road game.
Correct. So then does default become a division game?
Yes.
So you can't do it against an AFC team is what you're saying.
Totally. And
even though, didn't they their first year, weren't they in the AFC? Weren't the Bucks in the AFC their first year? Didn't they switch like the Seahawks and the Bucks after the first year? Am I wrong on that? We'll look that up. Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? It's all coming up.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. You're right,
Yeah.
David.
First year, and I mean, think about how crazy that is. Okay, this is the NFL, 1976. All right, you got two expansion teams. One's in Seattle, one's in Tampa Bay. Well, let's put Tampa Bay in the AFC West. Okay, perfect. Where are we putting Seattle? I mean, think about that. I mean, seriously? How crazy is that? Oh my God. So Seattle's in the NFC West. Got it. At least they didn't put them in the Central. Jeez.
Right.
Adam, don't even suggest such a thing, okay?
Oh,
But one of the only good things about moving to Jacksonville last year was it took my wife a long time to find the local Christmas station. As opposed to in Southwest Florida, where she knew pretty much by 3 days after Halloween where to turn. They ran a couple of clips of John McKay last week with, in the honor of the whole creamsicles, so some throwback Buck stuff.
mhm.
And so obviously there's the line, what'd you think of your team's execution? I'm in favor of it. But post game, sports writer, you guys seem to have a tough time tackling out there today. He said, yeah, we didn't tackle well. And before anybody else could ask a question, he said, but we made up for it by not blocking. They had some sideline clips that I hadn't seen before. All right. One of them, he walks up to a couple of his assistant coaches and he goes, how come so-and-so's not in the game? He's kind of good, we could use him. Another one was, why is so-and-so in the game? He's not good. Why is he even on the team? Get him out of there. And I forget who it was who mentioned it in our Twitch chat room. The segment before you chimed on, we did on Kim Eng and the Marlins parting ways. So, yes, we're aware of it. And we think that it's the Marlins' fault, even though she technically refused her option because they never should have gotten to this point. She should have gotten a multi-year contract extension. And we hope she has a job lined up somewhere. She went to high school in Jersey, graduated college in Chicago. Her husband owns a company in Seattle. So that's a tough ownership group to work for. But if I was her, I'd go there.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We'll get to the good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when and all that. But so it turns out the 76 Bucks were in the AFC. We got that right. And by 77, they said, well, no, we got to move them.
Because what division were they in?
Well, they were located in Tampa Bay. So, of course, Mark, they were put in the AFC West.
Well, it did have it. No, that was the AFC West, so it didn't even have Atlanta in it.
No. The West. No, this was Denver, Kansas City, and the Raiders. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They finished 5th in the AFC West. Apparently, both Seattle and Tampa Bay back in 76, two expansion teams at the same time, were both put in the Western divisions. Obviously, but Seattle was put in the NFC West. So they played a year in the NFC. Then Seattle got moved to the AFC West, and they moved the Bucks to the, wait for it, NFC Central. So, they're getting there, Mark. They're getting there. We're not quite in the same time zone. We're not going to be for a while, but we're getting there.
Shows you just how much power Dallas has had in this league for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they would have, geographically, you would have moved Dallas.
Absolutely.
And Dallas wouldn't have it.
Well, and also if you think about the power in the league, you've got New York, Washington, and Philadelphia. Big northeastern markets who get really good ratings. And Dallas didn't want to move, and it's not like those teams wanted to lose Dallas as a division rival. Even if Dallas was beating them and keeping them from achieving the success that they really wanted, their owners were like, yeah, we get a game against the Cowboys every year at home. And one of those games we can get on. Remember, there was only one nationally televised game for a very long time. It was called Monday Night Football.
Not to mention that NFL games didn't sell out.
Right.
At the rate that they do now. So a Cowboys game was a guaranteed sellout, which was important to the owners. Ticket sales actually mattered more then.
But we've had this, it's been hysterical for years in numerous sports why it is certain teams are in certain divisions. It's like, have you guys traveled much? Looked at a map much? What's going on here? There's a reason for it. Really? Better be a good one. Think about that, by the way. If we're just doing it by geography right now, what division you putting them in? I mean, because now, remember, it used to be the NFC Central back in the day. Now we've added enough teams in which it's east, north, south, west. You putting them in the south or you putting them in the west? If you're moving the Cowboys and you're doing it for geography,
probably the west.
Okay. And I could make the case the South. I mean, New Orleans and Dallas aren't far away from each other. But it ain't easy, is it?
No.
It was easier when it was the East, the Central, and the West. That was easy. Well, you put them in the Central, then a Central time zone. Who you moving? Well, in Tampa Bay. We could switch the Cowboys and the Bucks right now, right? Think about that, by the way. If the Bucks, going back 30 plus years, if the Bucks were in the NFC East, instead of all the Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay games, it would have been Giants, Eagles, Redskins, because they were the Redskins back then. Of course, we would have had to do something else with the NFC East because the Arizona Cardinals were in it for a long time. Because when they moved from St. Louis, they said, it'd be too complicated. Just keep them.
Just keep them. Just keep them in the division. It works. We like those 2 wins a year against them anyhow.
Right.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start in 1854 today. Lincoln gives his Peoria speech. It's a biggie. It's when he denounces recent federal legislation extending slavery, and it began his rise to the White House. 1875, Brigham Young University is founded. 1912, the Red Sox beat the New York Giants to win the World Series in 8 games.
There we go.
1 game was declared a tie due to darkness.
Yes!
Don't pick it up the next day, tied. That's just a tie. We're going to play 8. Today in 62, the Yankees win their 20th championship in a 7-gamer against San Francisco. And the Cuban Missile Crisis begins as JFK is showing photos confirming the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba. Today in 1968, Tommy Smith and John Carlos give the Black Power salute on the 200 medal podium in the Mexico City Games.
It was very well received back in the States. Very well received. One guy won the gold, one guy won the bronze, and they were championed as heroes. Oh, I mean traitors. I'm sorry.
Today in 69, David, your Mets win in 5 over the Orioles. A 100-1 shot at the beginning of the year.
They'd never had a winning season before. Their first 7 years in the league, nothing but losing seasons.
CCR broke up today in 72. The Polish Pope John Paul II was elected today in 78. The Orioles win the series in 83, beating the Phillies in 5.
Those were the Whiz Kids were the Phillies back in the 50s. This was an old Phillies team with like 40-year-old Pete Rose, 38-year-old Joe Morgan. They called them the Whiz Kids.
Today in 88, Oral Hershiser threw a shutout to become the first to pitch a shutout in the playoffs and in the World Series. 1991, Roy Tarpley becomes the 7th player to be banned from the NBA for life under the league's anti-drug agreement. And in 2004, Messi makes his league debut for FC Barcelona at 17 years old. Oscar Wilde, Angela Lansbury, Dave DeBusschere, and Suzanne Summers, all born today. Suzanne Summers would have been 77. Bob Weir from the Dead is 76. Tim Robbins is 65. Flea and Manute Bol are both 61. Little height differential there. Darius Kasparaitis and Cordell Stewart are each 51. John Mayer's 46. Sue Bird is 43. Bryce Harper is 31. And Naomi Osaka is 26 years old. What did I miss, David?
I have to admit, you lost me there in the last 10 seconds because you said Darius Kasparaitis, and my mind just kind of wandered, in which I said, I don't think the NHL is a better league today when there's no place for a Darius Kasparaitis.
Fear of friendly ghosts. What do you have? I have a Kasparaitis.
What does that mean?
It's one of my favorite all-time names in hockey, and it's the only reason I read it there. And I'm glad that I put you out for 10 to 15 seconds by going Darius Kasparaitis.
And Darius Kasparaitis was one of those tough, blankety blanks, little undersized, played huge, just skilled enough. Okay. And if he was on your team, you won. And if you went in the front of the net, he'd kill you. That's all. No big deal or anything. Fear of friendly ghost. That's outstanding. So that's all. I just want two things, by the way. A Walt Disney Company founded today.
Oh.
I'm going to bring that up in an hour and 15 minutes of the production meeting. Try to impress some people. Go, hey, it's our birthday today.
Mickey Mouse. Maybe lead them in song.
And you got to be of a certain age, CNN, the whole deal. Maybe baby Jessica. Remember that? The kid who fell in the well?
Oh.
They rescued her today back in, wait for it, 87. Baby Jessica fell in the well in Texas. And for 3 days, we were glued to CNN. But we had never watched the damn channel before. Yep. For 3 days, all they did was cover a kid trapped in a well, day and night, 24 hours a day. They get her yet? No, but they're getting close. Okay. She's still alive? Yeah. All right, good.
Baby Jessica in the well.
Baby Jessica in the well. And you know it. I'm not making this up.
No, you're not.
No, come on now. You were 18. You were in college. You were a freshman in college. Tell me at some point in time in amongst your partying and classes, you didn't go, hey, they get her yet?
It crossed over from CNN to the network news, David. That was
right.
Probably a B block every day, if not the end of the A block.
So there you have it. Rescued her live on CNN. Biggest thing. The network, I think, was 6 years old at the time. It was the biggest damn thing in the history. That's 7 years old. I think June 1st of 80 is CNN's anniversary. It's the biggest damn thing they had done until that point. I was just getting them ready for the whole Iraq war, Mark. They were just softening us up.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We're going to Lawrenceville, Georgia for the good, where Sam Kaplan graduated college. Now, that really wouldn't be that big of a deal. The fact that he's 72 years old adds a little bit to it, and that his 99-year-old mother was there to see it all happen.
Yes!
He graduated from high school in 1969, never considered college, and saw a degree that interested him at Georgia Gwinnett College, and he got his degree at the age of 72. So good for him. For the bad, we go to Connecticut, where a bear broke into a garage and stole lasagna from the freezer. Video shows the bear wandering inside through the garage into the home. The refrigerator door had been left open. Grabbed some lasagna out of the freezer, and then the bear left through an open window. Finally, the ugly. We go to Georgia, where a man got a speeding ticket in Savannah and was a little miffed at the amount in the fine department for the speeding ticket. He was doing 90 and a 55. And the ticket told him he had a $1.4 million fine. Apparently, there's a placeholder that is automatically generated by the e-citation software that's used. The actual fine can't exceed $1,000, but this makes sure that people that are speeding over 35 miles above the speed limit have to appear in court. I don't know about you, David, but if I got clipped for doing 90 and a 55 and the speeding ticket said $1.4 million, it would get me to court.
Which is funny. I wouldn't show up. No, you got to collect that. Come after me.
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, October the 16th, 2023.
So we have baseball today.
Yeah, the season picks back up today after the weekend.
Stop it. Game 1 of the ALCS was last night. Texas won 2-0. So game 2 of the ALCS is on Fox. I think it's on both FS1 and Fox at 4:30. Game 1 of the NLCS, 8 o'clock TBS, Phillies and Diamondbacks. Phillies with home field in that series, the 4 seed over the 6 seed. Obviously, Monday Night Football, 8:15, ABC, Cowboys 2-point favorites over the Chargers. Over under, by the way, on that game is, I got it here, 51. So we're talking like a 26, 25, type game there, mid to upper 20s.
I like the Cowboys tonight to come back from the loss last week. David picked them in his, I think he did a Super 7 this week.
I did. Thank you.
Needs it to go 3-4.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What's bad is his 8th game was a winner.
Damn right it was, and so was my 9th. Panthers, by the way, 7 o'clock tonight in New Jersey against Seth Everett's Devils. So there you go.
It's a pretty good hockey game.
Yeah, very entertaining.
Two teams get up and down the ice, and they will hit one another. So that should be a pretty good Monday night game if you're not into the football or the baseball.
So there. Got that going for you, which is nice.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Pat Kerwin, David Sampson on the show, 6 a.m. right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience,